going on? And we are live. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Davey's with me today. Adrian's with me.
Hello.
We're going to be doing a 3-player tutorial and playthrough of Primal: The Awakening. This is a sponsored video, so you're not going to get any opinions from us in this video. We have all spoken about our thoughts on this game in other places, but today we're going to be focused on showing you how to play the game and doing a 3-player playthrough of it. This is a cooperative boss battler style game. Is it 2 to 4 characters or is it 1 to 4? You can't play this true solo, can you? With one character. I think you have to play at least 2 characters. So it's up to 4 players, 5 players if you have an expansion. We're going to be playing through the prologue today. Now, this is a campaign-driven game. A campaign is, I think, 12 chapters. Well, the prologue and then 12 chapters. So it's not like a massive campaign that's going to take you years to play. And what you do is the campaign always starts with the prologue, where the heroes are fighting Vyraxen. These miniatures, by the way, are painted by myself. They do not come painted. And I am using the 3D terrain pieces as well. I'll just show you them quickly. 3D terrain pieces, these are an optional add-on. These do not come with the game. You normally get cardboard tokens, but the publisher kindly sent me the miniatures, so I've painted those as well. So yes, you can play it 1 player, but you have to play 2 characters. So it's 2 to 4 characters that are basically fighting bosses. Now, we're going to be showing you the prologue today. So this is, as I mentioned, the first thing. It's not really a tutorial as such, but it is an easier fight. And your characters will be fairly simple. So I've chosen to play Mira today, who has a great bow. You start with your basic weapon, which is the level 1 great bow, which the base weapon damage is 2. I start with a base helmet and a base armor. The numbers on there, 4 and 5, that indicates my health. So I have 9 health. If I ever take 9 damage, I'm knocked out. And I start with a mastery card, which is my starting mastery card, and I start with the deck of cards. We'll show you this later on at the end of the video, but all of these over the course of the campaign will get upgraded and you will get more and more stuff. All of us start with a potion as well. We all have one of these potions to start with, which is a healing potion. And yeah, that's pretty much what we start with. Now, Vyraxen, as I say, this is the monster that you're going to be fighting in the prologue. So let's have a look at Vyraxen's board. Hopefully it's come back.
Connection?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but hopefully we are back. If we are back, please let me know if we're back. That's not really happened before. Okay, it is back. Where did we get to? Can you tell me where we got to when the stream stopped? I don't quite know what happened there. Apologies for that. But yes, let me know where we got to. I was talking about my board. Did I finish talking about my board? And then I was about to talk about the monster. Excellent. Okay, right. Let's go over to Vyraxen. So this is Vyraxen. And Vyraxen will have, first of all, 3 stance cards. Now, in the top left of these, you see that there is the number 0. That means that this is aggression level 0. As you play through the campaign, the aggression level of the monsters will go up. I'm not going to go into the full setup details for this because it is all explained clearly in the rulebook. I'm just going to summarize. You have a behavior deck of 9 cards. Now, the behavior deck was shuffled, and then the top 3 cards are placed on the monster board here. We'll explain how those work later on. But these are the 9 cards for this particular aggression level. If we were to be fighting Vyraxen at a later aggression level, it will be a different set of behavior cards. So there's more of these included in the game, and you only use the ones based on the aggression level. We also have a peril card. Now, a peril card is something that we need to be aware of. The peril card always follows the stance card. So this is stance number 1, which means we have peril card number 1. And we also have, what's this card called? I can't remember what that's card called. But anyway, that's another type of card. This is a card, it's an opportunity for us to do something. Now, this one says permanent. What that means is this one will stay in play even when we progress through the stances. Some of the later monsters, this will change as you go through the stances. But against Vyraxen, this always stays in play. So, we have that. Okay. What else do we need to explain before we actually start playing? So it's a cooperative game. I'm going to explain a lot of the rules as we go through, but it is a card-driven game. There's lots and lots of cards in this game. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the box of cards which if you like a game with a lot of cards is going to get you very excited. But we each have a deck of cards. Now, this deck of cards is a fixed set of 24 cards for the prologue, specifically for our character. So these cards are unique to me. Nobody else has these cards. And over the course of the campaign, you will be changing this deck and you will be taking out some of the weaker cards and you will be adding in stronger cards as we go on. So you will shuffle your deck and you will draw 5 cards at the start. Peril card always follows the stance card. Yes. Monsters don't always have a peril card for every stance. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So we have a deck of cards. We all draw 5 cards. The scenario setup shows us that Viraxen starts here, facing that way. There are marks on the base to tell you where it's facing. All of the characters start off in the front sector, so we have 4 sectors. We have a plant here. This is the Siren Say, I think it's pronounced. This is going to increase the damage that attack cards do. We also have Bethanthus, I think it is. It's a healing plant.
Yeah.
If you start your turn in this sector, you're going to heal 1. And over here we have a bush. I can pronounce that. It's a bush. Bushes are interesting because you can actually hide in the bush at the start of your turn and basically take a later turn. But we're going to be moving around the different sectors, and Viraxen is going to be staying where he is, but he's going to be turning around. Now, before we go into any more details, I am just going to mention this. This stance card has got a little mark here that indicates that this is the front sector, and the red sectors means that those are the sectors which are exposed. Terminology is very, very important in this game, and technically those sectors are called exposed sectors. And what that means is that you can only play red cards in those sectors. So you can play any colour card in the front, but you can't play a red on the side. And let me just talk about the cards briefly. The cards come in 4 different colours. I've got 3 of them in my hand. The red cards and the blue cards together are known as offensive cards. These are attacks, these are manoeuvres, but together these are offensive cards. And the only thing you can't play in the black sectors is you can't play the red ones. You can only play the red ones in the red sector. The other 2 colours of cards are yellow and green. These are defensive cards, with yellow ones being parry and green ones being dodge. You don't need to know those terminologies. You can just call them red cards, green cards, blue cards, and whatever. But that's what they represent. Now, the red cards are the main cards that will deal damage. They are attack cards, and they're the ones that are going to deal damage to Viraxen. And that's why you've always got to be aware of where Viraxen is, which way he's facing, and where you can deal the damage. And let's just have a quick look back at this. This little icon here is the number of players. So what this means is, in order to cause 1 wound to Viraxen, we need to deal 6 damage, because we're a 3-player game today. Every time we deal 6 points of damage, we will deal 1 wound, and the wound will go down from 10 to 9. And when the wound goes down to 7, so once we have dealt 3 wounds, at that point he will change stances. And I would recommend, when you're playing this game for the first time, is don't look at what's on the next one. Let it be a surprise. You probably won't do very well for your first couple of games. Now, I'm not a computer gamer. I haven't played the Monster Hunter computer game, which a lot of people have compared this to. But from speaking to people that have played this kind of game, a lot of the game is about repeatedly playing against the same boss and learning the behavior of that boss. And when you first play it, you don't know what it's going to do. And the more and more you play it, you will learn what the behavior of the monster is, and you will take that into account when you're playing it. That said, each of us has played this prologue scenario 5 times each. So we know this boss, and we know what all of these behavior cards do. So there is going to be a little bit of a spoiler element to tonight's playthrough, in that you're going to see these cards. Now, if you're anything like me, by tomorrow you will have forgotten the cards. But we've just had a practice game earlier on today, and we are going to take those cards into account because we know what they are. And that's where the game, I believe, really comes alive. When you're fighting a monster for the first time and you've no idea what it can do, it's going to surprise you. And you might like that surprise, but when that surprise means that it jumps on your head and rips your arms off, you're like, oh, right, okay. Well, next time we play, let's not do that. So the more you play it, the more you will get to know the particular monsters, and the more you can then take that into account. And you'll see us doing that tonight, and we will explain why we're doing that. So we've all drawn our starting cards. We now need to decide who is the aggro player. So this little token here indicates the aggro player. The aggro player will be the first player to take a turn in each round. And you're going to be the aggro player?
I will be the aggro player.
So what we've got is we have a round sequence, which is this here. Now, once you've played the game a couple of times, you might think, I don't need this card anymore. I know the game, right? Trust me. Keep this card out and follow it carefully, because even no matter how many times you've played this game, you may forget a step. And this is really good, and it's all on here, and I would strongly recommend keeping this in play in front of you and making sure you follow it through. This is the round structure. We have the consume phase, we have the monster upkeep phase, we have player turns, so phase 3 repeats until we've all had a turn, and then we do end of round. So we're going to start off with round 1, phase 1, the consume phase. This is where we all get the opportunity to consume a potion. Now, the potions that we start with are all healing potions. None of us have taken any damage, so we're not going to do that. But this is an important rule. You can't just drink these healing potions whenever you want to. You can only drink them in the consume phase, which is the start of the round. So then we do monster upkeep. So in monster upkeep, 2 things happen. The behavior cards refresh, but you skip that part for round 1. And then the monster gains struggle. Struggle is a resource that the monster will gain, and it will spend struggle in order to power up or boost its cards. But in a 3-player game, it will gain 3 struggles. So these blue counters are 1 on one side and 3 on the other. We're just going to put the struggle here. You can put it wherever you want, but we're going to put it here for today.
Can struggle keep going up then?
Once it gets to 9. So when struggle gets to 3 times the number of players, the monster unleashes, and we are all going to take 1 damage because the card says 1, and then the struggle will reset to 3. So struggle is something that we need to try and keep an eye on. And the reason why it's blue is that every time you play a blue card from your hand, the struggle is reduced by 1. And each character plays in a very different way, and certain characters are better at managing that struggle. So my character, I'm a very offensive character. I go around insulting people all the time and shooting them with arrows. I'm all about dealing lots and lots of damage. I don't have, as far as I know, apart from my default blue cards, I have no special cards that can remove struggle. My friend Toreg, however, you're all about that, aren't you?
It's his speciality, yeah.
Yeah.
Removing struggle with the hammer.
So you're quite good at that.
Bonk some sense into him, yeah.
And Darian, you've got a big sword.
I've got a big sword. I like to swing a big sword. So in game terms, I have a little bit of struggle mitigation,
right,
but it's a lot about playing 2 red cards back to back. So lots of sort of double swings and stuff like that, and then I gain bonuses and do extra damage by doing that.
Okay. So, where was we? Yes, we talked about the struggle. So that is getting 3 struggle. Now we go into player turns. So we have a first player marker.
Which is here?
Yeah, first player marker. So the first player marker goes to the player with the aggro token. Because the aggro token might move around over the course of the round, but we keep that there to remind us that Dave's going to take the first turn, then Adrian, and then me. And then once I've taken my turn, then it's the end of the round. Okay, so player turn. The first thing you do on your turn is you resolve any start of turn effects, if you have any. Then the next thing you do is the movement phase. And this is another rule in the game that you need to remember. You can't just move whenever you want to move. You can only move in the movement phase, which is the first thing in your turn after you've done your start of turn effects. To move, you have to spend 1 stamina and you move 1 sector. That's it. You can't move more than once. And so you can only pay 1 stamina to move 1 sector. Now, the things to bear in mind when you choose to move and when you choose not to move is the stance card. Remember, the stance card means that the front sector is currently exposed, so we are allowed to play red cards in the front sector and also play red cards in the rear sector. So you might think, if you've got red cards in hand, well, you don't want to move, because if you do move, you'll move to here or here and you can't play red cards. So you might want to think, well, I'm not going to move, I'm going to stay here. The problem is, if you stay where you are, and if you think about this thematically, the monster is constantly looking to see where we are. And if you do not move at the start of your turn, the monster knows where you are, and that is dangerous. And that is represented by one of these threatened tokens. So if you do not move at the start of your turn, you gain a threatened token, and that will have an impact later on in the game. But if you do move, you can only move to here or here, and you're not going to be able to play red cards. So, do you want to move?
No, I
don't want to move.
Threatened.
So you become threatened.
Yeah. Which
Yep.
indicated by that
Right.
there.
And now, after the movement phase is done, remember, once you have chosen to move or not to move, that's it. We now go into the action phase of the game. And the action phase of the game is the main part of the game. And this is where you are going to be playing these cards from your hand. So what you do is you play these cards from your hand in a sequence. The cost to play a card is shown in the top left of the card, and you pay with stamina. So this is a game where you will have to play cards by paying for them with other cards. So for example, if I wanted to play Precision Draw, that will cost me 1. I can pay for that by discarding any of these. I could pay for it with this. This card generates 2 stamina, but you don't get any change. So what you do is you will play cards, pay for them, and you play your cards into a sequence from left to right. The maximum number of cards you can have in a sequence is 5. And we'll explain all of the cards as they play. Now, Derek's got a very good point. I mentioned that you can only move at that point. Everything that I say today is overridden by cards. If you have a card that tells you you can move, then that overrides what I'm going to say. But voluntarily, you can only move once and only at the start of your turn. So you've chosen not to move. You are threatened.
Off we go.
Off you go.
Let's try and do some damage. So first things first, I'm going to ask the old question of, can anyone assist me?
Let's have a look. I do need it.
It will help me pay for a good
Okay.
card.
Right. So we'll talk about assist. Some cards in the game have the keyword assist printed on them. For example, this one. This is a card which I have in my hand with the word assist on it. Now, if a card has assist, then it basically indicates that this card can be used for something completely different than what's printed on the card. Imagine that that keyword assist replaces everything else on the card. What it means is I can discard that on somebody else's turn to allow them to draw a card. Now, that can only be done in their action phase. So after the movement phase is done, I'm going to assist you. I discard the card, and you get to draw a card.
Draw a card.
Now, I can only assist Davey once on his turn, but Adrian could also assist him as well. So in a 3-player game, if you are assisted by both of the other players, you would get to draw 2 cards. Now, what that means is I've got 1 card less on my turn, but you said you really needed it. So
and hopefully I'll have an assist so I can replay the favour.
this is very much a cooperative game where the players will need to be communicating with each other, and sometimes you just need that extra card to be able to do some cool stuff. So
Lovely. So I'm going to pay 3 stamina here.
Yep. To
For 2
play
cards, which is
It's going to be a big card.
yeah. So 3. So I get to
Just
I'm
pass
gonna
us the
attack.
card and I'll show
Yeah.
it. I'll show it on the big screen. So this is the card that he's playing, and it's a powerful card. It's got 3 stamina to play. So what he's done is he's discarded these 2 cards in order to play this card. Now this card is a red card. Now remember, red cards will deal damage no matter what it says on the card. So every red card you play will deal damage to the monster, and it will also have some kind of special effect on the game as well. And the amount of damage that it deals is based on your weapon. So your weapon will have a default amount of damage printed on it. For the prologue, everybody's is 2, but you're going to see at the end of the video how that will increase. So by playing that red card, you have immediately dealt 2 damage to the monster. But it does more than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I increase the damage by 2, so it deals 2 more.
2 more.
And then opening. So opening, which is in the little cheat sheet here, is if a card ability that begins with the keyword opening means that the ability is only triggered if that card is the first card in the sequence.
And
So
it is the first card in the sequence.
which means that I also inflict
Vulnerable, right. So one thing that Toreg is I don't know if it's Toreg or Thoreg.
Well,
It's your choice, it's your name.
I said Thoreg before,
Thoreg,
but
right. So one thing that Thoreg is good at is hitting things really hard with its hammer and basically, I think, knocking off one of the scales and making the monster vulnerable. So we have a vulnerable token, which is this.
Okay.
And because that was the first card you played in the sequence, the monster is now vulnerable. So what does vulnerable do? Vulnerable means at any point later in this round, including on another of the active players' attacks or anybody else's attacks, we can choose to hit it in its vulnerable spot and it will deal double damage. And that will remove the token. If we haven't removed the token by the end of the round, then it disappears. And if you're thinking already, oh my God, this game's got loads and loads of rules, how am I going to remember all of these rules? Well, each character comes with their own reference sheet. This is Thoreg's reference sheet, and it actually contains a list of all of the stuff that you can do and all of the keywords on the back. So you don't have to keep looking this up in the rulebook. It's all on here.
Lovely.
These are really good, these players.
They are good.
So you played a red card, you've dealt 2 damage, you dealt an extra 2 damage because that's what the card said.
I've made it vulnerable.
And you've made it vulnerable.
And I've triggered a
so
behaviour.
let's talk about behaviours. Now, this is a sponsored playthrough. We're not going to give you our opinions on this game. But what I will tell you is all of the other reviewers that weren't paid any money to do review videos have said how amazing the AI system is in this game. So I'm just quoting what other people have said. It's very clever and it's quite different because I've played a number of boss battlers. And in all of the boss battlers I've played, the players all get a go and then the monster gets a go, right? Not in this game. So in this game, the monster does not have a turn. Easy. So we just hit it and it dies and then thank you very much for watching. No. It has behaviour cards. And if we just have a look, these are the 3 behaviour cards that have been dealt out. And these will all trigger in specific circumstances. Guess when this one triggers? That's right. If you play a red card, this behaviour is going to trigger. This one is if you start your turn in the rear sector, and this one will trigger at the end of the round. Now, remember back what I said at the start. We know what each of these does. Well, in fact, I can't remember what that one does.
I can't remember these two.
But we know what this one does because we've played this game a lot. So we've taken that into account. When we played that card, we knew what was going to happen. But when you start fighting monsters for the first time, it's going to be a big surprise. So you played the card, you resolved it, you've done the damage.
It didn't like being hit in the face.
It did not like being hit in the face, so we reveal...
Responding to it.
Right, so Blazing Assault. The active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck, and you're going to suffer damage equal to the damage that monsters are dealing. If you do not discard... Now, that is a defensive card, so either yellow or green.
Which
And you did.
2 defensive cards.
Yep, so you didn't take the damage. However, we have a boost effect. So I mentioned this earlier on. If Viraxon has 2 struggle, which he does, he's got 3, he will spend 2 struggle, and it will do that, which is basically to repeat the effect again. So 3 more cards, there you go, you're all right.
All my defense cards gone, so that's fine.
Now, don't worry, when you run out of cards in your deck, you will shuffle your discard pile and make a new deck, but you will take fatigue damage. So losing cards is not necessarily a bad thing because you will just go through your deck, but you will take a little bit of fatigue damage. Now, once the behaviour card has been resolved, it goes to the discard pile, and the next one comes in. Now, this one is interesting. This is the Rampage card. So this doesn't actually have its own trigger other than if another card is resolved. So this is sitting there waiting for another card to be resolved. And when another card gets resolved, that one will also be resolved.
Lovely.
So it's still your go. You've played
my go.
one card.
That card. I'm then going to pay that for a stamina to play Bludgeon.
Okay.
Which I'm just going to play for the blue, which means
So
I get to remove...
It's a blue card, so it removes the struggle.
Removes the struggle.
Now, normally you'd remove an
extra
extra
one, but
if
it's
you're
already
doing the head
expended 2,
segment,
yeah.
So
I couldn't play this one first, though, so unfortunately.
Thoreg has a weapon, and that weapon says every time that he plays a blue card in the front sector, it removes an additional struggle. He's played a blue card, he's in the front sector, but it's not got any struggle left. So, But what else does that card do?
Confuse the monster.
Oh.
So
that's this, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
So I guess we need to put it to the side over there. Or up there.
Here. So the monster's confused.
And vulnerable. So I get to turn the monster, to face the monster to a sector of my choice. So because we've got the thing on the tail, I'm thinking about just. Well, he's going to turn back over.
It's going to turn back over.
It's going to turn back, but we can at least it will demonstrate what happens.
So you can turn the monster to face any direction you want.
So yep.
And
the next time an ability would have one of the triggers at the bottom, boost effect, you can ignore it and discard the confused token instead.
Does it still pay for it?
It still pays for it.
So it pays for it, but it doesn't actually do it. Okay. That's good.
And then that's me done. So no more actions. Attrition.
Derek just asked the question, does maneuver cards deal damage? No. So this is, again, the terminology is really important when you're learning this game, which is why I'm going to try and be very specific. The blue and the red cards collectively are called offensive cards. Red cards deal damage, blue cards remove struggle. That's it. If you remember those terms, you should be okay. So, you finished with your action phase.
Yes.
Right, at the end of your action phase, if you have 2 or more cards in hand, you do not, but if you did, you get stamina token, which you can spend on a future turn as if it was stamina. Then what we do is we do what's called the attrition phase. So we have a deck of 10 attrition cards. Now I'm going to tell you what that deck is made up of at the start of the campaign, because I believe that over the course of the campaign it can be modified. In there is 1 0, 1 3, 4 1s and 4 2s. And what we do is I'm going to press this button here, if I press the right one, and we're going to take the top card of that deck. Yep. And it's the 3.
Nice.
Yeah, the 3 is the worst one in there.
I had none anyway.
And what would happen normally is you would now check to see how many defensive cards you have played in your sequence, which is the yellow and the green ones. And if you haven't played that many defensive cards, you would take damage according to the monster. However, threatened. If you are threatened, you reveal 2 cards and take the worst one. There isn't a worse one than 3. So we still reveal 2 cards. It's a 3 and a 2, but I mean that's good. We've got rid of one of the 2.
2 Owens, and I take a damage.
And you take that amount of damage.
Yep.
So we put damage on the character sheet, and as I say, we get to 9 and we're knocked out. Then we do end of turn. So end of turn, you discard all of the cards from your sequence from left to right, because sometimes the order is important. Then you draw cards up to your hand size, which is 5. And then what we do is the monster turns to face the aggro player. Now, this is one of the things that we always keep forgetting when we're playing the game, and that's why you should always go through this every time. So pretty much at the end of a player's turn, the monster will turn to face the player with the aggro token, which means it's coming right back to where it started.
Confusion's worn off.
And yeah, Derek makes a good point. It's good that that 3 has gone, because you didn't have any defensive cards. So even if it was a 1, you'd have still taken the damage. And that's the other thing to note. The fact that it was a 3 doesn't change the amount of damage that it deals. I remember reading somebody and they said, this game is impossible. They could never even beat the tutorial. And what they were doing is they were taking that amount of damage. And it's like, no. The number on the attrition card is how many defensive cards you need to avoid taking damage. If you take damage, that is the damage you take, which is, at the moment, it's just 1. Your go is over.
That's it.
Yeah. So, movement. Do you want to move?
I do want to move.
So if you do move, you won't be able to play a red card.
That's fine, I don't have any.
Okay. That gets around that issue.
I'm hoping one of you does, because I put a vulnerable down, but we'll see.
So I'm just going to play this card here.
I do.
And good. I'm going to move around to the damaging plant, which I can't pronounce, so I'm just going to call it the damaging plant.
It's your favourite plant.
Let's try and remember what it is called. It says, come on, where is it? Here we go. Cyricae. So Kyrisae?
Kyrisae? We'll go with
and
that.
The other one is Bethanis.
Bethanis. Oh, someone's saying it's Cyricae.
Okay, Cyricae.
Cyricae.
Thank you, Cyricae. So yes, so the Cyricae will increase the damage dealt by every red card by 1.
So yeah, so I'm going to sit there in the hope that something happens next turn.
And you might get some red cards.
So my next one is endurance. So it's going to cost me 1. So I'm just going to get rid of this one here, as that really requires me to play a red card, and I don't have any red cards in hand. So this list allows me to draw a card. If I had my mastery unlocked, I would draw 2 cards instead. but
We
I
haven't
haven't,
explained masteries yet. We'll do that in a minute.
done that bit. So I'm going to draw a card.
But that is a defensive card in his sequence.
Yep.
Now, just to clarify, in case somebody points it out in the chat, I said that this will increase the damage of every red card by 1. That's not technically true. It increases the damage of every card by your weapon level.
Yeah.
Now, in the prologue, all of our weapon levels are 1. So sometimes I will say it'll increase it by 1. It's actually increasing it by the weapon level.
Well, okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play Engage. So again, that's another 1 cost.
Yeah.
So as I'm now in the side section, I did draw a red card. I'm just going to spend this because I can't play it anyway.
Can you pass me that card?
Yes.
Because I'm going to show you this. Top right. The top right of the card. If that icon is red, it means you become the aggro player. So, Adrian has played that card. He becomes the aggro player. Now, what that means is it's going to turn to face him at the end of his turn. It also means that if he's still the aggro player next round, he will go first. And moving the aggro token around between the players,
It's common, isn't it? Yeah.
You can, yeah, it happens a lot, but you can sort of control it. Like if I don't want to be the aggro, then I just don't play a card that gives me the aggro.
And the peril is important for the aggro.
Very,
along
very
with-
important because that's got an end of round effect on it.
Well,
So
so
you played the green card, you
Yeah.
played the blue card,
I would remove threat,
but
struggle,
but
sorry.
there isn't any.
but there isn't any. So instead, I'm just going to do the action, which is choose another player in your sector or an adjacent sector to draw 1 card. So Paul, as your turn is still to go,
Okay, sure,
would
I'll
you like
draw
to take a card?
Sure.
And I've only got 1 card in hand, and it costs.
You don't want an assist or
I
anything.
could assist you.
Yeah, go on then, because it'll come back to you because it's.
This is actually a really good card to assist you with.
Go on then.
Okay, I'm going to assist Adrian with this card. So again, it's got assist on it, which means I'm going to discard this card, and Adrian's going to draw a card. The reason why it's really good is, at the start of my turn, if this card is on top of my discard pile, I'm going to get to draw 2. So I'm going to assist you by putting that card there. You get to draw 1 now, and then at the start of my turn, I'm going to draw 2.
So I'm going to play now Guardian Blade. So it's a yellow parry
Okay.
card. It costs 1. I'm spending the 1 that I've just been able to draw because of the assist. It has aggro on it, but I'm already aggroed, so that's fine. At the end of your action phase, choose another player to draw 1 card for each aggro card in your sequence.
Ooh, that's nice. I've not seen that card.
I can now choose. It's basically the end of my action phase, right?
Yeah.
So I can now choose someone to draw 2 cards. Are you wanting 2 cards, or is it worth me giving it to?
Might be worth.
So the
me.
thing is, it's going to turn to face you
Yeah,
at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Which means
you have to move if you want.
I
to do
can
that.
move and hit it from the
Okay.
front. So if you give me the cards,
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. I'm happy
because
to do that.
if I manage to draw 2 red cards, I can really.
And you've got that. It's vulnerable at the moment.
It's
as well.
vulnerable, and there's the
Yeah.
Series A. So I'm getting 2 cards. So at the end of your action phase,
Draw 2 cards.
I draw 2 cards. It's great.
Yeah,
Lovely.
nice little
Really,
combo
really
because you get to give someone a draw card and then you get to hand out 2 more cards.
Yeah. Okay. Attrition phase.
Attrition phase. So
You've got 2 defensive cards in your sequence.
I have.
You're not
I'm
threatened.
not threatened, so it's just 1
One
card.
card, and we know it can't be a 3 because
So
the 3's
right.
gone. So it doesn't take any damage.
Then I discard.
Discard your cards, draw back up to your hand size, and it turns to face the aggro player.
Lovely.
Okay, so start of my turn. At the start of my turn, if this card is at the top of my discard pile,
Or 2.
right. Now I'm going to need 5 minutes here because I've got 9 cards in hand.
Would you like to move first of all?
I definitely want to move.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but you still got to work out which
Yeah,
card.
which
you're
cards
throwing.
get rid of? Yeah.
well, that's easy because I've got a card that allows me to look through my discard pile, and So I'm going to spend 1 stamina to move to here. Okay, so I'm now in the front sector. Yeah, we've not missed anything there.
This
No,
isn't
no.
going to trigger
No,
until end
we're
of
good.
round now.
Yeah.
And I'm in the sector with this plant, and it's exposed, so I can hit it. Great. Right. Red cards. And it's vulnerable.
It is vulnerable. So
I
you want...
I have a red card, so I need to play this red card.
Would you like an assist?
I
Do you want
mean,
another card?
I mean, I wouldn't say no,
I can assist you.
but okay. You're going to assist me?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a red card.
Okay.
But
See if there was a bigger one.
I can backflip. That's good. I do like backflipping.
Bragging at the table.
Yeah,
Poor Carl.
I'm not agile enough for that, I'll be honest.
We don't really need to play blue cards, do we?
No.
No. Not at all.
Okay, I'm just going to play Deadly Shot.
Yep.
So this is one of my big, powerful cards. It costs 3 to play. It gives me the aggro token. But it's going to... So it's a red card, so it's going to deal 2 damage, but it increases the damage that this attack deals by 5, multiplied by my weapon level. And as I say, at the moment, all of our weapons are level 1. So it's 2 for the card, 1 for the Series A, and an extra 5. So that's 8 damage.
Plus the vulnerable.
Which I will double with the vulnerable
To make it 16.
for 16 damage. This
Nice.
is going very different from the games. So 16 damage. Now, we're going to deal the wounds in a minute, but I need to pay for that. I need to spend 3. I'm going to spend that one, that one, and that one. So I've spent 3 to play that. But my character, the Great Bow, has an ability on it that says every time I play a red card, I volley 1. And again, you might be thinking, well, what does volley do? It's all explained on my little reference card here. So every time I volley, what I do is I take the top card of my deck. If it is an offensive card, I deal 1 damage. It is an offensive card, so I deal 1 damage. Right. There was no behaviours. I did that. We did that. We did that. And that 1 damage from the volley is not boosted by this. It's only red cards that are boosted by that. So we now deal the wounds. So we needed 6 damage to deal 1 wound. So there's 6. It goes down to 9. There's another 6. Goes down to 8. There's another 6. Goes down to 7. Wow. That's happened quick.
Yeah.
It's the first round of the game. I'm looking at the chat to see. Yeah,
They should all be amazed, hopefully.
you should all be amazed. Ken makes a very, very good point. There is a benefit to attacking this monster from the rear, and that was my other option. But the reason I went here is because I knew I had this card in hand, I knew the vulnerable was out, and I knew that this plant was there. So I wanted to basically.
You need
output
2
damage.
red cards from the back as well,
You
don't you?
need 2 offensive
Two
cards.
offensive cards.
So it's down to 7. What that means is it's going to change. It's no longer in stance 1. We're going to move through to stance 2. So we move that, and the peril card advances as well. So you can see here, when revealed, Viraxin gains 1 struggle per player. So you're going to gain 3 struggle. And now you cannot play red cards from the front sector. So suddenly he's put up his defences in the front. We can now only play red cards around it. And now it's going to take 9 damage to wound it. So it was 6. It's now 9. 9 damage will cause a wound. And when we get it down to 3 wounds, it's going to advance to stance 3. The new peril card says that when a behaviour with Firestorm is revealed, it's going to do nasty stuff. We'll try and remember that. Ken says the ability should be resolved before the attack. Which ability?
Volley.
Oh, the volley from playing the red card would be performed before the damage from the red card. Okay, thank you. It didn't actually matter in this particular case, but it's good to know that that is for playing the red card. So as soon as I play the red card, the volley happens, and then you resolve the card. Great, thank you very much. I've only played 1 card.
Well, there is a benefit to holding on, right? Because you get
There
the
is.
stamina
Stamina,
thing for holding on. So if you've got a good combination still left that you can't
but no
benefit off
defensive
playing,
cards.
it's also
No.
true. Although there is a 0 still in there, so you could.
I'm going to backflip.
Okay.
So backflip doesn't cost anything, and I can only play it after a red card. And the next time I refill my hand, I draw 1.
Okay.
So that's quite nice. I'm then... Am I happy with 1?
I would say so. There's a 3 and a 2 already out.
Yeah, go on. I
You've
think
moved as well, haven't you? So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm good. So that's the end of my action phase. I have 3 cards in hand, which means I gain a stamina token. Now you're only allowed at the start of the campaign to have one of these stamina tokens, but it basically means I can spend this on a future turn as if it was a stamina. And now we do the attrition check. So it is
A 0.
It's a 0. Okay, so I don't take any damage. I now discard my cards. I now draw up to my hand size
+1.
+1.
Obviously, you were the aggro,
And I was the aggro player, wasn't I?
but
Yeah.
it's facing you already.
And then it turns to face the aggro player. And I think we're done. I think we are end of round.
End of round.
So what happens at the end of the round is we get a behaviour card. So this behaviour card is end of round. If that wasn't there, all sorts of other end of round stuff would happen, but we have this. So each player in the front sector must either immediately move, and you have to pay the stamina if you want to move, or we suffer damage equal to whatever's shown on the monster. And then it's going to turn. So each player in the front sector, so it's me and Adrian.
We've also got a rampage happening after this.
Oh,
as
and we'll
well.
have the rampage happening as well.
Right.
Yes. Okay, I am going to move. Oh, you'll like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to move by discarding this card for 1 stamina. But it says when you discard this card from your hand, perform volley 2.
Nice.
So I'm just going to dodge out of the way, and I'm going to miss with 2 arrows. I'm moving to here.
Nice.
So, do you want to move or suffer damage?
I'm going to suffer damage,
Okay.
and the reason is I have a keyword in hand. So I have resilience.
Nice.
So what resilience says on my nice handy cheat sheet here is after you suffer damage, you may reveal, so it stays in hand, a card with the keyword resilience from your hand to draw a card. So I've kind of agreed to take the damage.
So you don't have to discard the resilience card.
No,
You just show it.
You just wave it about, and then you get to draw a card.
So
So
you get to do that to the monster as well.
I've taken the damage in the hope of giving me a better next turn, and in all honesty, it hasn't paid off. But
So that was that. We now resolve the rampage card. Remember, the rampage card triggers as long as any other card triggers. The rampage card is place a fire terrain in the front sector. So this is the first time we've seen fire, but Viraxin is all about fire.
Do you have a good attack next turn? I can.
Hang on. Sorry, there was the last bit of this.
Yes.
oh, sorry, yes,
Viraxin turns to the player with the fewest defensive cards in hand. I have 4.
I have 2.
I have 3, so it's going to face you.
So it actually turns to face you.
So now the question is, do you want to cancel?
Yeah, I'm going to cancel it. I think.
So it's gonna place a fire terrain in the front sector.
So I'm going to do rapid blow.
Okay.
When a behaviour card is revealed, you may discard this card from your hand to cancel the effects.
Oh, I didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you
And
go.
I assume that also means the boost does not
I
happen.
assume
The boost wouldn't happen anyway because of the confusion.
that's true, but would it spend the
It
struggle?
would. It would with the confusion, but that just cancels it. So
I think that cancels the card.
Yeah.
Okay, so that card is discarded.
but I
That
just.
card is discarded.
Yeah.
I don't want any more fire.
No.
No fire.
So yeah, Viraxin is all about breathing fire around the
We
board,
didn't have a flame storm.
except not there were no firestorms.
Sorry, firestorm.
So that didn't trigger.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. We've done all of that. That I believe is the end of the round.
It
I
is.
don't think does this go?
Yes, at the start of the next round.
So pretty much now.
Yes.
Right, we are on round 2. Check the chat to see if we're. Sean says, I think the first card would be replaced before the second one is revealed. I don't think it matters. In this particular case, it doesn't matter. But I think you're supposed to resolve one and then the rampage, and then you replace them both. I think that is the correct rule. Right. Wasn't Viraxin supposed? Yes, we got it. Right. Okay. So we're on round 2. So first step, consume. Anybody want to drink a potion?
No.
No. We're all good. Monster upkeep. So the bit that we didn't do in the first round is you look at the behavior card that has the lowest number, and it's discarded. So this one is discarded, and if there were multiple ones with that number, they'd all be discarded, and then that gets replaced. So that's the behavior refresh. And then it's going to gain 3 struggle. So its struggle's gone up to 6. How did it get that 3?
It was on one of the cards. It was on the.
Yeah, no, when we changed it to stance
Yeah,
2,
that's it.
Oh, it gained 3 struggle.
gained 3
Yeah, it did,
struggle.
yeah.
Because it's not usual to do it by turn 2, is
No,
to change
no,
it
it's no, it
to
isn't.
stance 2. Good for tutorial purposes.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So that's that. That's that. We're now player turns. I've got the aggro token, which means I am the first player. So, when you trigger Rampage, you wait until Rampage is done before replenishing both triggered cards. Yes,
Yeah.
I thought so. I was pretty sure on that one. Did the Rampage card have Firestorm? It did not. The Rampage card did not have Firestorm. Okay, so we are in round 2.
So would Firestorm, even though I cancelled the behaviour effect, would Firestorm still happen?
It's a good question. I mean, that says it cancels the effects of the card. So I think it would have...
It's still apparently.
Oh, Stefano says Firestorm would have
Would
triggered.
still trigger.
Okay, so you're cancelling the effect of the card,
Yeah.
But not the
but you're
keyword.
not
Not the
cancelling the keyword.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so my go. I am the aggro player. We can hit it from anywhere except the front.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, start of my turn. I'm going to rip off a little bit of the plant and eat it.
But you're not.
You already.
No, but I want to because it's
Okay,
nice.
you just want a bit of.
But yeah, at the start of my turn, I could heal for 1, but I'm not damaged. I do have this stamina. So,
So why are you moving?
well, if I don't move, I become threatened.
Yes.
Yes. That's not such a big deal now.
I don't have any red cards. I mean, I'm happy with what I did in the first round, so I'm not complaining. I want to try and cycle through my deck as quick as possible. So yes, I am going to spend the stamina token to move, and I'm going to move to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Then, what am I going to play? I am going to play Adrenaline Shot. So, let's just show you this card. This is a card that's going to cost me 1 to play, and it says recycle 1. That means I can discard a card from my hand and draw another card. Now, below that, you see this cross swords? That cross swords is for this card here. Every character has a mastery card, and at the start of the game, it's on this side. And at a certain point in the game, it's going to flip over to the mastery side. So anytime you see the cross swords, you only get that effect if you have flipped your mastery card over, which I haven't yet. So I'm going to play this card. I'm going to recycle 1 to play it, which is going to be that. And the ability is recycle 1. So I'm going to recycle that to draw a card. Okay? And it's a blue card, so I remove a struggle. Then I am going to play Acrobatics, which costs 2. So I'm going to pay for that with that. And if you have a look at the Acrobatics card, you will see that... Oh no, it's the other way around. Sorry.
Needs to be the
Sorry, I did that first. That's what I did first. Because if I play a blue card after this one, so the Acrobatics, when I play it, doesn't actually do anything. But if I play a blue card after it, then I get to trigger that ability as well. Yeah, this was the one that I drew from the recycle. So we're all good. I now draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And, as Derek mentioned earlier on, I can now move if I
So
wanted to.
you're also playing the blue card.
I'm playing
so
a blue card, yes. So
that's going to happen afterwards.
That is going to happen.
It's good we're doing it in this order.
Do I want to move without paying any stamina cost? Now, we know what that blue card is.
Mhm. We do.
So based on that, I can move now without paying the stamina cost.
It will
Where
burn.
you
It
want
will
to move.
burn.
So we're kind of burying the lead here. So we know what the blue card does.
We know what the blue card does because we're experts. Yeah.
So it turns to face the active player and puts down fire.
I think stay where you are.
We've not explained what fire does yet,
No.
but fire's bad. And if fire is in your sector, you cannot play cards into your sequence.
It also will burn the book.
It will burn the bush down, if we're bothered about that.
Well, it's better than burning that bush.
No,
I think.
But this
doesn't.
doesn't burn.
Oh, it doesn't burn
These
that bush.
plants are not affected by fire. That
This one
one's
is.
Oh, so you could move down there then.
So it's going to turn to face me,
Yeah.
and it's going to breathe fire in my sector.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to be?
Yeah.
I think here
Face
personally.
value.
Okay,
Go
so
with that.
we know that that's going to happen because we know what that card is. So I am going to move without paying the stamina cost. Right, now, after I've played the blue card, we have a behaviour card. So what's going to happen is we're going to reveal this. And as I say, we know what this is. It's the Wrath of the Dragon. Fire action turns to the active player, and then we place a fire token into that sector. So Varaxon turns to face me, and we put a fire token in the sector. And as I say, what that means is that I cannot play any cards into my sequence, which means that's it. I can't play any more cards.
However,
However, it's got a struggle effect. So it removes one struggle, and it says the active player suffers damage unless they have a green card in their sequence, which I do.
Nice.
Now, I'd forgotten
I've
that.
forgotten
bit.
that. I worked out that quite nicely.
So that's gone.
No, you remembered it, Paul. That's why you
That
played the
comes
green.
And that's it. I can't play any other cards. So I gain a stamina token. So I've got 4 cards. And the other thing about this game, unlike a lot of other games, you cannot voluntarily discard cards at the end of your turn. You can only play them or discard them for stamina, and you can't overpay for stamina. So you can't... if you had a card with 2 stamina, you could use that to play a 1 card. But what you can't do is you can't just chuck away loads of extra cards to pay for something. Attrition, please be a 1.
You moved, didn't you?
I did move.
No,
It's a 2, so I take damage.
One
So I
damage.
take 1 damage.
It's not too bad.
And then those cards go. It's turn to face me. I draw back up to my hand size, which means, unfortunately, only drawing 1 card.
Apologies, I've just realised we've turned it to face you, and now you're going to be in the tail section.
That's fine, because we said we didn't know what that card did,
No.
but now we're going to find
Yeah,
out.
we're going to find out, yeah.
Right.
Right, so the first...
Can you check your discard pile? I'm not sure, but I would always allow people to check their discard pile, even if that's not an official rule. Did we remove a struggle for the blue card? I think I did.
You
I
did,
thought
yes.
so.
I think I did. Yeah, we did that. So we're just going through the chat to make sure we play it correctly. So Stefano says, technically speaking, the base effect of the card is the last one that you apply after all of the other triggers that might be involved with the card being played. Okay, so trigger the effect of the green card, which is the movement, remove a struggle, then do the blue reaction. Okay, I think we got it right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can check your discard pile.
Lovely.
Derry's got a question about this card. So this card here triggers at the start of your turn if you are in the rear sector. So if I moved into the rear sector, it wouldn't trigger. It is a start of turn. Speaking
Which
of
is
that,
now.
it's now. It's
Yeah.
the start of Davey's turn. And at the start of your turn, we have this behaviour card. So whipping tail. The active player will suffer damage unless they discard a green card from hand. If the hit the tail objective has been achieved, that doesn't work. In other words, if you severely damage the tail, this card has no effect.
So I've got Sharp Reflexes, which is also my green card, which is when a behaviour card is revealed, you may discard this card from your hand to immediately move. But then that's the effect still going to happen, isn't it?
Yes.
So I may as well discard it for that effect.
So
Instead.
you're gonna discard it. You're gonna jump out of the way because remember the green cards thematically are dodge cards.
Oh no, I'm going to discard it for that effect
Exactly.
instead. Yeah.
So you've dodged out of the way of
Yeah.
its tail and it hasn't hit you.
And did it say I can move for that as well? No.
No. You've just
That's
used
okay.
it to dodge.
It's fine.
Yeah. That's gone. This comes out. Now we have something called escalation. So whenever the behaviour deck is empty, as soon as it's empty, the monster escalates. And escalation is very simple. It gains 1 struggle. And it's always 1 struggle, no matter what stage of the campaign you're playing, it's always 1. And then we shuffle the behaviour deck, ready for a new deck. Okay, so we've got start your turn in the front sector, play a green card, play a red card.
I've only got 2 cards now.
And you've not done anything
And I've not
yet.
done anything.
Because you assisted me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Like
yeah.
half an hour ago.
Yeah.
So, do you want to move?
Well, probably not.
If you don't move, you'll become threatened.
I already
Oh,
am.
you already are threatened.
So it's fine. I feel like I'm
You've
take,
not moved
I'm
at
gonna
all,
take
have you?
damage anyway.
No.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Yeah,
he's like a rock. It's fine.
If you are threatened, then
Um,
threatened will go as soon as you move. however you move, because at the moment you've not moved the whole game. You've just stood there saying, "Come on,
Just
Steadfast. You know,
Brilliant.
that's
it's a heavy hammer.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't move.
Yeah.
I have an assist if that would be useful."
It means I can play a card, but whether the card's going to be useful or not is another question.
Have you got a blue card?
No, but I need a blue card in my hand, and this is the thing. So if I draw into a blue, it's good. If I don't draw into a blue, then I can't really do anything. So it's kind of catch-22.
I'm going to play assist because you've been very kind to me and you made me a chocolate cake yesterday. So in the game, not in real life.
Oh, hello.
Did you draw into a blue card?
No, I drew into a good card, though, which
Okay.
pretty much can reset my hand. So I'm going to spend 3.
3.
I'm going to
Wow.
play leverage. Draw cards equal to the amount of struggle tokens on the monster,
5.
which is 5.
Oh, no.
So I draw 5
Okay, you've got
cards.
5 cards.
So let's reset and go again.
That was handy.
Yeah, that was handy.
So I've already assisted you, so
Yep.
I can't assist you again.
No, that's very good.
I love playing this character because of the amount of damage that I can output. But if I didn't play this character, that's probably the one that I'd play.
Yeah. So this is actually very good. So I'm just gonna have to read these a second.
Okay, all the characters play in a different way. There are 4 characters included in the base game. There is an expansion with 2 additional characters, which are very interesting in the way that they work, but they're all very unique in the way that they play.
Okay, so let's do it this way round. So I'm going to play Disruption. So you can ignore the rest of the text because that's only on someone else's
It has
turn.
an aggro symbol on it.
It does have an aggro symbol on it. And I'm just going to do my weapon damage. Of
Okay.
2.
So 2 damage.
It will, however, trigger.
Oh, we should have triggered this one.
Oh yeah, hang on,
Ooh.
hang on, rewind.
Oh, how bad is
Apologies,
this card?
chat, if you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So the active
I
player,
didn't draw after my turn.
Yeah.
the active player becomes threatened. So you didn't move, so
So
you're
fine.
threatened already. So that's that one.
Oh right, okay.
It's fine.
However, this one comes out now.
Rampage
So
comes out.
Rampage is going to happen when you play your red card.
Well, let's see what happens. So I will be playing that. It's the other part of it's on someone else's turn, so it's just 2 damage, which will be putting on.
Yeah, I think I did draw after my turn. I had 4
Yes, you
and I
did.
drew
You
1.
drew
for
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's happening? So you played the green card.
Yeah.
We triggered that.
Triggered that. I've played the red card, done the
Done
damage,
Done 2
and
damage.
done 2 damage.
And now we're going to resolve that.
Now we're going to
and
resolve
that.
that and that.
So that red card is
Well, first of all, it's got
it's got
Firestorm
Firestorm. So
Ah.
when a behaviour card with Firestorm is revealed, immediately place fire
in the
It's
front
already there.
in the
section.
front sector. So you can go off, people. Right. So whenever fire is added, and in fact that should have died down
That
at
should
the end
have
of the
died
round.
down at the end of the
Sorry,
round,
that
correct.
fire should have died down at the end of the round. If it dies down again, it will get removed. But if fire is added to a sector which already has fire, it refreshes it, and everybody in the sector is set on fire and takes a burning counter. So the burning counter is going to go on my character, and when my deck empties, and just let you know, I've got 2 cards left in my deck. Not only am I going to take fatigue damage, I'm also going to take burning damage.
Burning is top 5 cards of your deck, isn't it?
No, that's if you get another
Another
burning
Yes,
when you're
okay.
already burning. So
So the actual
and
effect,
the
though,
actual effect is the active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. Now you've only got 2, so 1, 2. We interrupt to give you fatigue damage, which is equal to your weapon level, which is 1.
Got 1 card here.
yeah,
Otherwise I'm going to take another damage. And then Rampage, which might be another damage.
yeah.
This has escalated a little.
It has.
Yay!
Okay, so you ignored that.
Yes.
You're okay from that.
So before we
So
put
before
out
we put
that
that
out,
We have a rampage.
which is place a fire terrain in the front section.
Oh, seriously?
It's alright, it's 5 cards. That's what you
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're then going to take burning damage.
So, as we were just explaining, if a fire token goes into a sector that already has fire, the characters in there become burning. If you've already got a burning token, you discard the top 5 cards of your deck instead. So I'm discarding 1, 2. So my deck is empty. So I take fatigue damage, which is 1. I also take burning damage, which is 1. I'm going to do another 3, but something
Yeah.
else is going to happen as well because Mira actually wants to cycle through her deck as fast as possible. So
I was helping out.
I'm actually quite happy about
Yeah.
this. This is good. So
Was
is it 3 more cards?
3 more
2 more
cards.
cards.
3 more cards, and it's the mastery that I'm gonna talk about. So this was my mastery card. It says here, whenever you empty your deck, place a counter on this card. I put a counter, put it on this card, and whenever there's that many counters on the card, which is 1, I get to flip the card over. So I now have my ultimate shot. So my whole aim is to cycle through my deck as quickly as possible. And now at the start of each of my turns, I can do volley 2. And every time I empty my deck, I'm going to deal 5 times my weapon level in damage. So I really want to be going through my deck as fast as I can. But I did take damage from that. I took fatigue damage, I took burning damage, and I think the burning token goes.
And you're about to take more damage potentially.
Come on, bring it on.
So remove 1 struggle.
Yep.
Each player in the front sector suffers damage unless they discard a green card from hand.
Sure.
There we go.
Right, that is both of those gone.
Are we done? I
And
think we are.
Yes.
And those come out.
Oh no. We're not there.
Right.
Right.
Now you're still here.
Yeah, I am still there.
All of that stuff was happening
Yeah.
here. So
So I'm discarding Mighty Strain. When I discard it, I do get a strain token.
strain token,
But
and
it's
you're
'cause it's got
discarding
free
it to
stamina.
play.
I'm discarding it to play Knockout.
Right.
Actually, so it's not going to go off, so it's fine. So I'm going to do Knockout. So it's a red card, so I'm going to deal 2 damage.
Yep. And if you played a red card before it,
Yep. I'm going to stun the monster. So I'll
Okay.
explain stun in a second, but because we will also be putting a token on, because I've attacked the tail with, well, I've played 2 offensive cards,
Yeah.
which means the tail gets a counter.
so let's just have a look at that. This is the objective card, and it says if you are in the rear sector and you play 2 offensive cards, which
Yes.
again could be red or could be blue, then you put a counter on it. Once there are 6 counters on it in a 3-player game, then we deal 2 direct wounds to the monster because we've hit it. Imre says, shouldn't there be a token on the white boss card now?
yes,
think that's
this
that
is
one.
what
Oh,
we
Yeah,
did.
that's what we just done. Right, so
So
the other
now-
thing that happened is the stun. So
Stun.
the stun token,
So stun has a couple of things to it. So one is we get to place a corresponding stun token on a behavior card that is in play. So I could do it on the red one, which means it won't go off.
yeah.
Or I could do it on the end of turn 1.
Well, you know what the
I
red
know
one
what the red
is.
one is because you've had your go, Paul, haven't you?
I have. Yes, I went first.
Yeah, you went first. So this one's not going off. So I think maybe it's the end of because this one just adds damage to the end of turn,
It's yeah.
which, to be honest, probably isn't going to be as bad as was the end of turn 1. I think end of turn 1 could be fire.
I think it might be something to do with fire.
It's something to do with fire, isn't it? But that could be Firestorm. Let's just
It
put it on the
is-
red
it
one.
is-
Let's
yeah,
put it on the red
fire-
one.
I think
I
it
know
is
it's going
Firestorm.
to yeah.
Okay.
So
So that card has been stunned, and it will not trigger until the end of the round.
also, I get to choose a player who reveals up to 2 attack cards, so red cards in their hand, and deals their weapon damage to the monster for each card revealed this way. So I'm going to choose Paul. So I've
because
stunned the
You've stunned
monster.
it and gone shoot it, and I
Yeah.
go.
There we
And I
go.
just reveal these cards, and I deal my weapon damage
For each card.
for each card. So that's 4 damage.
So another 4 damage, which I think is
damage
going to be a
goes on.
wound, yeah?
It is going to be a wound.
So that's resolved. That's all of that done.
Should we do the wound?
I need to take a strain token.
I've got it here.
Lovely.
So
Thank you.
9.
So Gridley, what does the strain token
Strain
do?
token is -1 card. When I do the draw phase at the end, it means I'm going to be drawing only 4.
Yeah,
rather
you've
than
kind of
5.
exerted yourself, which means you're a little bit tired.
A little bit tired.
Ken just pointed out something that I didn't realise. There's a really nice graphic design UI thing. The reason this is white instead of black is all the player cards are white,
And it helps the
and,
players.
and that's the thing that helps the players.
Mm.
So nice touch. Didn't realise that. So lots of things just triggered.
I've
there.
also stunned a monster, which means I get one of these.
Yeah. So your mastery card is you need to stun the monster twice.
Yeah.
What's your mastery card?
I have to play 2 red cards back to back twice.
Twice. Okay.
Lovely. So
Big turn.
that's that and that. I think I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. So you get a stamina token.
I could play another defense, but I think these are going to be lower now, so I'm going to risk it.
Okay.
So I gain a stamina token and
Attrition phase.
Attrition.
2 cards because you're threatened.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
Are you doing all right with that one?
Not with that.
Not
one.
with that one. So do you have 2 defensive cards? No.
No.
So you take
Good
1 damage.
I can take the damage.
Discard your cards. It turns to face the aggro player,
Me.
and then draw cards up to your hand size.
One less because of.
One
and
less
then
'cause
that
of
will
the strike.
go.
Yeah.
2.
You'd convert damage to wounds before finishing the red card. Okay, so we should have done the damage to wounds
Okay.
and then done the red card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
So it's down to 6.
yes,
6 wounds. Right, okay. Start of your turn. Do you want to move?
I don't think I do because I can do damage from here, and I'm in the damagey plant section. So what I've got to try and work out is what order I can play them in because I've only got 5 playable cards and I have a risk.
So
I can reduce one of your cards by the cost of 1. Does that help?
No, I think I'm fine. It's more the fact that I could potentially.
I'd also give it stealth if you wanted stealth on that
No,
card.
it's fine. I genuinely
Okay.
think I'm okay.
Oh.
It's just a case of I have the potential of wanting to play more than 5 cards if I get the right sequence off, and I'm a bit concerned about that.
So you've chosen not to move.
I'm not moving,
Which
so
means you become threatened.
I've become threatened.
Yeah.
Just to explain stealth as well, I think it's where if you have an aggro on the
No, stealth means it won't trigger a
won't trigger behaviour.
But as I think we're okay as well,
Yeah, fine.
because this is stunned. So
Cool.
the first thing I'm going to do is play Thwart, which is a little bit of an overpay because that's 2 stamina.
2 stamina to play a 1 card.
To play a 1
You
card, but
don't
it's
get any change.
empty fade, so it counts as a green card towards my defense. You may play a card with slash. Now, slash is a keyword I've got at the bottom of some of my cards.
Mhm.
If you can quite see that there. And it says I can play that into my sequence, the next one, without paying its stamina cost.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm then going to play Pressing Strike. Now,
It's a blue card,
which is a blue card,
so a struggle comes off.
gives me the aggro,
Mm-hmm.
but lets me draw 2 cards.
Okay, so normally that card costs 2, but because you've played it with empty fade, you can play it for free
Yeah,
because it's got the keyword, the slash keyword. Right, got it.
oh, that's painful. Oh, okay, fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is what I was at risk of. So
Well, while you're thinking,
no,
people are commenting on the painted miniatures. So I'm just going to show off my my painting because I've spent quite a long time on these. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I'm quite happy with how
done a nice
that
job.
one came
Yeah,
out.
it's really good.
So that's Thoreg. I'll show you the others later on.
So I'm going to, because I really want to unlock my mastery and do this stuff, I'm actually going to do something slightly different to my original intention. So I'm going to play this in order to have Evasive Step, which is search your deck for a red card and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck.
Okay.
So
And the maximum number of cards that you can have in your sequence is 5. There are certain things that you can do during the campaign to increase that, but by default, no more than 5 cards. And Adrian's already at 3.
yeah,
I think you do have one in there increases your sequence as
oh,
well.
I can't remember. But anyway, so that's that one done. So the next one I'm going to play is Double Slash. So
Not just happy with a single slash.
not a single slash, no. So I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm going to just have to. This is really nice because it was in the flank, and I'm in
Yeah.
the flank. So I do my damage, which is 2.
I can play this instead and reduce this by cost by 1, and it means you can.
No, that's fine. I'm
No,
all good.
'cause
Thank you. I
need a
appreciate it.
5,
But
yeah,
So
yeah, it's
red
fine.
card,
2.
weapon
However,
damage. Oh, plus 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, plus 1.
Yeah.
So 3 damage.
yeah, and then finally I'm going to Dragon Strike, and this is where the annoyance was because I wanted to play the yellow card first. So
Double red card.
it costs 1 less, so it doesn't cost me anything because it's the next red card in the
Yeah.
sequence.
It's another 3 damage.
So it's another 3 damage. However, my great sword
Says
increases the damage attack dealt by 2 and removes 1 struggle. I also get to relentlessly assault, which is place
A counter
which
on
is
the card.
place a counter on my card.
So because you've played 2 red cards next to each other, your
Yeah.
weapon ability kicks in and you are halfway to your mastery.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it was a bit of a convoluted way to get there, but I got there.
and that's 9. So straight away we trigger another wound.
Nice.
Yep.
So that's the end of my turn. So
Yeah.
I need to do
We need to do attrition.
attrition first. So I am
You are threatened.
threatened.
So 2 cards.
The last 2.
So that's
That's
1.
nice.
1
And 1. So I've got 2 green.
So you're okay.
So I'm okay.
You don't take any damage.
I then
Discard all of the cards from your
discard
sequence.
all of these cards from my
Draw
sequence.
to your
I've
hand
only got
limit.
1, so I now draw.
And then
2.
the monster turns to face the aggro player, which
is
is
me.
you. So it turns to face you here. And that, I believe, is the end of the round.
Yes.
So we have an end of round behaviour card that's going to
We
trigger.
do.
And we have the fire, but we do the behaviour card first.
Mm-hmm.
Aggression, each player in the front sector must either immediately move or suffer damage. Do you want to move or do you want to take a damage?
Oh, I'm going to move on this one.
Was Darren in the sector with the... Yep, yes he was. And he was doing 1 extra damage per red card that he played. That's why he was doing 3 damage instead of 2.
So I'm going to move and...
Into the fire or
Well,
over by far?
I've not taken that much damage, so I think I'm
It's
gonna,
nice and relaxed over
I'm
here.
gonna-
I've stayed here all game. It's
not
been
very-
great.
I'm going
Yeah.
to join my hammer buddy.
He's
Just
sat there, he's got a deck chair.
bit of hammer time over.
So
in
that's
section.
that. That's an end of round card.
There's another part to that.
Oh, there is. It turns to face the player with the fewest. I've got 1.
I've got
got 1.
3.
So it's between me and you.
Mm-hmm. I'm threatened. So is it me instead?
Well, we can't hit it from the front.
Are you able to move? I suppose because we will both have to move if it faces
I'll
us.
tell you what. Turn. Have it facing me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That goes. We get a new card.
Yeah.
Then end of round. The fire starts to die down. Any other end of round stuff? Nope.
Nope.
I think we are good. We've missed anything.
Oh
Right,
yes,
no,
the move.
The move and
remove
move
threatened.
Yeah. Every
from the
time you
board.
move,
Oh, of course.
however you move, if you were threatened,
Yeah, I always think of it as the start of my turn to remove
Yeah.
it, but you are correct. So start of next
start
round.
turn. So that stun token goes. We go to round 3. Consume.
Would
So
anybody
let us tell you about these potions. These potions that we all have, it's the Alimore potion. It's a level 1 potion. In the consume step, you can choose a player in your sector to heal to. So you can drink it yourself or you can pour it down somebody else's throat. If the current attrition level, which is the card on top of the attrition discard pile, is 1 or 0, then you get 4 healing instead. So
I am going to use mine.
you are going to use it
Yep.
to heal 3.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to heal. I'm not going to drink mine. I'm going to save mine because I'm in with the healing plant.
Nice.
Now we do monster upkeep. So we're going to remove both of those.
the blue
Which
one?
means that comes out. That comes out.
However, we now
We gain a struggle because it escalates.
Yep.
And then it gains 3 struggle. And now we have player turns, starting with
myself.
yourself. Off we go, round 3.
Yeah.
Normally, in my experience, a game of this will last 6 or 7 rounds, maybe 5 if you do it well. You do have a time limit. If you haven't managed to defeat it by 10, then you've lost.
Right.
Tail.
Tail section.
You have started the turn in the tail section.
So
So,
the active player suffers a damage unless they discard a green card from their hand. If the hit the tail objective has been completed,
ignore this effect.
you know what? I think I'm going to take the point of
Just
damage.
gonna take the damage.
Yeah. So that then does that. I am then going to choose not to move, and therefore
You become threatened,
I
and that
become threatened,
triggers
which
this
triggers this
behaviour
card.
card. Hi Ben. Ben's popped in for Meet Me at the Table. Thank you for joining in.
So the problem is that this is a Firestorm card, which flips that back to red fire
Yeah.
and burns you. And
Just live in
then
the fire.
I'm going to buy some fireproof overalls, I think.
just making him walk through the fire and the flames. And then Varaxon gains 1 struggle per player.
He goes up to 3.
Yeah.
So he gains 3, which means he's at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he gets to 3 times the number of players, he unleashes. We all take this amount of damage.
Yeah.
And then it goes back down to 3.
You know what's really rough?
What's that?
Paul's about to do the head and the.
On the rampage.
And
No,
the
well, no,
rampage.
no,
It's
no.
fine.
You're aggroed.
Oh, I'm aggroed.
It's
It might
flipping
move to
around.
me. Yeah, it should do.
It's going to be me. That
Yeah.
has to do the.
I'm happy with dealing 18 damage on round 1. I'm
I'm done.
Guinness Book of Records.
Right. So the first thing I'm going to do in my turn is, let's say, this
Run
is
away.
next move, is to retreat. as it's
Bravely
called.
run away.
So I'm going to spend the 2 stamina off the bottom
So
of that
Robin.
card, which is draw 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
When's his next stance change? At 3.
3 wounds.
Yeah.
So,
2 more.
yeah. 17 more damage.
Yeah.
And we'll go into stance 3. Stance 3, the monster gets very dangerous. So if we're making it look easy, yeah, things do get really nasty when we get to stance 3.
When I pay for a card, does it count as discarding from
Yeah,
my hand?
yeah.
It does. So I'm going to pay here, which means I can deal my base damage to the creature,
Which is 2.
which is 2. To do Swift Dodge, which reduces the cost of the next card you play by 1. So I'm then going to play. This is a very defensive round. I'm then going to play Deflecting Blade. Not
Effective
defective.
blade. Broken.
To search my deck for a card with slash and add it to my hand. Unfortunately, there's only 2 cards, so I'm really hoping it hasn't happened. I'll now have to reshuffle.
Shuffle 2 cards.
But I thought it was worth a go. And then that is my turn.
Okay, so action phase is over. You've only got 1 card in hand, so no stamina.
Yeah.
Attrition phase.
So,
It's 1.
It's 1.
So you don't take any damage.
however, I need to flip another
Oh,
one.
it's another one. So
Uh,
we put that one aside. We then shuffle the attrition deck, and now we reveal the next one.
So we want the 3 to come out.
Yeah, really. That's
Yeah,
what
we
would be
do
really
want the
nice.
three.
Because you've got
'Cause
3
I've got
defensive
3.
cards.
So if the 3 comes out, if you could just shuffle that correctly. So we. Sorry.
Now.
You tapped it to the bottom.
So you don't take any damage.
No.
Yeah.
That's the attrition phase. End of turn. Discard all cards in your sequence.
Yeah.
Draw up to your hand size limit,
Yeah.
and the monster turns to face the aggro player.
I'm
Yeah.
going to take a point of damage because I'm
Your deck's empty.
running out on my deck.
Okay. My go. Start of my turn. Volley 2.
Nice.
Nope.
Nope.
I fire 2 arrows
Why?
It's because you're in the fire.
because I'm in the fire. I
Yeah.
can't say anything. Also at the start of my turn, even though I'm on fire, I'm going to eat some of this nice, lovely plant.
Dare say.
No, that's the bait.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. So I don't have many cards in hand. Can I play red from behind? I can.
But you
Oh no,
can
I can't.
fire.
I
You're in
can't
the
play
fire.
any
You
cards.
need
I've
to
You
got,
need to move
I've got to move. I have a stamina token, so I spend the stamina token to move to here. Run away.
into the damagey plant.
Yeah, and then I can play. I just play this.
Just played
I,
this.
I just play this for 1. So it's got stealth, which means if there was a red reaction behavior card, that would not trigger. And yeah, it's just my weapon damage, which is 2, plus 1, the Cerise. Okay, so what's that? 1, 2, 3, that's 6. But then because I've played a red card, I get to do volley 1. Yay, it hits. So it's extra damage. 7.
Did you do the extra damage for the?
So you
did-
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
No,
I did
I
that
did that,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all and that doesn't get the aggro.
No.
No.
And it didn't trigger.
No.
Be nice if you did.
Davey's about to do that.
Oh no, it would actually be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
We could be in trouble here. Never mind.
Now we're fine. He's drunk his potion.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Fine.
So
Yeah.
I am done. So attrition step.
Yep.
I moved, so I'm not threatened. It's 1 card, but it's going to deal me damage anyway because
Yeah.
I don't have any defensive cards. I discard that. I draw back up to my hand size, and it turns to face the aggro player, but it already is.
Right, shall we?
Yes. Let's see what happens. It's gonna set me on fire.
Gains -1. Number of players -1 struggle and gains +1 damage.
So it gains 2 struggle,
Yeah.
and it's got a +1 damage marker. So until the end of the round, its damage that it's going to deal every time it deals damage is 2
And a rampage.
instead of 1. And the rampage is.
Place a fire terrain in the front sector.
Oh.
There you go. Have
Then-
some of that.
Spend a struggle. Each player in the front sector suffers damage unless they discard a green card from their hand.
I don't have a green.
I do not have a green card
So
in hand.
it's 2 damage
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
and 2 damage for you.
I was on what, 4?
You were on 4, so you're now on 6. Wow. Right. Okay. So that's those 2 gone. These 2 come out.
Wow.
Fine, we can gain burning. Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna.
Start of your turn.
I'm gonna move.
You're going to move.
Yeah, I'm getting out. Guessing.
Come around here. Join me.
Should go on you by the Cirrus or.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to get in the bush and just hide for the rest of the time. No, I'll go by the Cirrus.
So the way that the bush works, because we've not explained it and we've not used it, but if you start your turn in the sector with the bush,
Before
you're gonna,
moving.
before doing anything, you can actually say, I'm going to hide in the bush. And what happens is we skip your turn, and then you can come back in later on. You don't find it used that much in a 2-player game, but certainly in a 3 or 4-player game, it will allow the players to manipulate the order in which they take their turns a little bit better. It is vulnerable to fire, though.
Mm-hmm. And out of the fact that fire's by the tail and by the head at the moment, so can't do anything over there.
You've spent a stamina, you've moved to
Spent
here.
a stamina, which was one of the ones I had here. Can anyone assist?
Off we go.
1 extra card will help me.
Volley 1 and all associated effects from a card before the base ability. Thank you. Yes, I keep forgetting that. When I play the card, I do the volley 1 first.
Any chance you can assist Paul? Because
You can.
I can.
I would
That
really,
would
I
help
really
me.
need it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's either that or I'm just doing one thing. But
well,
Remember, if once the blue goes off, fire's coming down in
So-
your section.
no, I've got stun.
the card
okay.
that I
That's
could
why I was
use to
doing it.
assist
Yeah.
has another ability, which is when another player would suffer attrition damage, discard this card to prevent that damage.
Okay.
So this could stop you taking 2
Yeah.
damage.
I could just do this one card. And that is it instead. I'll just do that. It's no biggie. So I'm gonna play concussion. So I'm gonna spend these 3 cards,
Just bash.
bash,
So it's a
and
blue card,
bonk.
1 struggle, but you're not in the front sector.
No.
So it isn't another one.
But what will happen is this will trigger.
It stuns the monster. So
It
which,
will stun the
which
monster
card are we
on the
gonna
blue,
stun?
please.
Okay.
It's a good choice.
Yes.
And because you've now stunned the monster twice,
Yeah.
your mastery card.
That's done.
So what does your mastery do?
So my mastery is now whenever I play a blue card, I also deal 2 damage.
Oh, on blue
On
cards.
blue cards now deal 2 damage, and if I'm in the front, I also remove an extra, so 2 struggle, 2 damage it could deal. And then if I ever do a blue, red, red, I stun the monster
Okay.
as well.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I become a stun and damage machine. So that's all done. Now it's gonna be attrition.
That didn't give you the aggro.
It did not give me the aggro.
Okay.
I've just stunned the monster.
You shouldn't be threatened. 'Cause
I'm
you're
not threatened because I've just moved.
Yeah. So it's 1 card.
And that's it. 1 card. I'm going to reveal the attrition, which is 3. Please.
I
can
play
you-
cover fire.
Lovely.
So I'm going to discard this card from hand to prevent the damage. There you go.
There we go. End of turn, and I'll draw up. It's good use to get rid of the 3.
Draw cards. Monster turns to face the aggro player.
Which is still me.
It already is.
Yeah,
And that's the end of the round.
that is the end of the round.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we have an end of round behaviour card? We do. Go on. Let's do it.
Oh, am I flipping it over?
It's on 2 damage at the moment as well.
Each player in the front sector must immediately move or suffer damage.
Too bad, is it?
I had like the most ridiculous turn of
Yeah,
doing.
but
Like,
you just fire there anyway.
yeah, so I've got to move, I suppose, haven't I? I'm going to get rid of Massive Strike, which is like my finisher that I was hoping to go with,
Okay.
but it costs 4, so I don't know that I'm going to get that.
I've got a vulnerable card in.
So-
You're going first, so it won't matter.
You're moving.
Yeah,
You must either move or suffer damage. You've
Yeah.
moved. Right. And now Viraxon turns to face the player with the fewest.
oh, hold on.
I've got 3.
The trouble is that
Is he going to turn to face you anyway?
he's probably going to turn to face. So
At the
the next
end.
part is the player with the fewest in
Yeah.
their hand.
I got 3.
I've got 1.
I've got 2.
So it would
So-
turn to
So
face
turn
you.
to face you anyway.
And
But
it's
is that
gonna-
a problem?
So you won't be attacking.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to stay where I am, take the 2 damage.
You're on 8.
Yeah,
I suppose you've got a chance to drink your potion. Well, it's a 3 though, but
It
you've
is.
still got a chance to drink
I'm
your
just
potion.
going to have to drink my potion, I
Yeah.
think, and go with it.
So you didn't move.
No,
So you're still threatened. You took the damage, and then
Yeah.
it turns to face you,
yeah,
but you're there.
yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that's the end of round behaviour done. We now do other end of round effects.
That goes.
That,
One goes.
that.
And I think that
Okay.
is everything.
So we got very excited about the stun mastery, but you could have chosen someone to reveal up to 2 red cards.
Oh,
we
yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't have any.
I had 4, so shall we do that?
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
do that. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot about that bit.
No, it's a good shout, isn't it? Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
been 4 damage, which would have been another wound. Yeah, so every time you stun,
Yes.
that ability happens. Thank you for reminding us.
There was quite a lot that happened. On
Yeah,
that.
that was, there was. For one card, you kind of went, well, I'll do one of this.
Okay, so we're done. End of round. We move to round 4. Consumed. Anybody want to drink a potion?
Funnily enough, I will be doing that.
Okay.
So the way that it works is it's dependent upon
Yeah.
the current attrition level. Now,
Yeah.
if it's 1 or lower, you actually get to heal 4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As it's not, I only get to heal 2, but I'm kind of at the point where
Yeah. And that
I'm
potion
good
is
to-
gone. It's not. It's not
Yeah.
just flipped over. It's
gone,
gone. It's drunk. They don't replenish.
so I'm then going to move on.
Well, no, that was consumed.
Right, that's consumed.
So now we do monster upkeep. So we're going to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. So that goes.
And then it's
That
in the
comes
green.
in. The monster escalates, and then it's going to gain 3 struggle. Just so you know, you may have spotted this, but there are 2 red behaviour cards. If they are both there, then they both trigger. If you play a red card, they both trigger in the order of your choice. Okay, so we've done monster upkeep, player turns, starting with the aggro player.
Yes.
Movement. Do you want to move?
I'll have to move.
Because you can't play cards here because it's
Yeah.
on fire. Oh, we're all together.
I think it's good to be together.
Are you aggroed?
I am.
Do
So you
don't
do
move
not.
there.
Okay.
We
I'll
are
move over.
all. Well, we were all. Where's he gone?
Oh, we've decided that because I'm the aggro player, it'll move and face, and that might not be the best thing.
Because then
Firestorm
we can only
cards.
move into fire as well, which
Yeah.
means we can't do anything.
So we're actually
Okay,
going
so
to
you're
go
going to move
around,
to there instead.
Yeah.
Okay,
and we might have a burning bush. So
so you've moved, which means you're no longer threatened.
yeah,
All right, comes on.
I don't suppose. I know I haven't sported with assist a lot. I don't suppose anyone can assist.
I do not have an assist.
I do not. Oh, I do have an assist. I need this assist.
That's
in my
fine.
hand because of the sequencing.
So I'm going to get rid of Precise Strike. Unfortunately, yeah, it's very.
That's your big damage card.
Oh, I can't do it in that order. Okay, I'm just going to have to not use that order. So the first thing I'm going to do then is play Battle Cry.
Oh. No card.
Is that
No,
your,
hold
is
on,
that your
That's my battle
cry?
cry. Yeah. Scares all of the locals in Clinton.
Can I do this in that order? I would draw a card. No, I'm going to have to. It's a shame, but I'm going to play Berserker and Resilience with Battle Cry.
So it's a red card.
It's a red
So
card.
that's 2 damage.
Yeah.
But what does Berserker do?
Whenever I play,
When you took damage, did you have this card in your hand?
oh, I did. I could have drawn a card.
You could have drawn a card from Resilience.
Let me do that.
Have the card.
Sorry.
Slight backtrack.
So yeah, so when you play a card with this keyword in your sequence, you enter the Berserk state and remain in that state until the end of your turn. While in the Berserk state, draw one card each time you play an attack card in your
So
sequence.
every time Adrian plays a red card from now on,
Yeah.
he draws a card afterwards.
Should I have done it in that order then? Sorry. I'm going to backtrack as I had 5 in hand. So first thing I'm actually going to do is play Counter Strike.
So Counter Strike's coming in first.
Yeah. So if it's before a red card, I get to increase the damage the attack does by 3 times my weapon
Okay.
level.
Now you're going to play it.
I'm then going to actually do precision. Doesn't matter.
Have we added the damage for the red card that you played? I think we
I
have.
think we have. I'm going to have to do it in the original order. It's pain.
Okay.
It's pain, but right. I'm going to do Berserker first.
Okay. So
Then-
you're now in a Berserker stage.
Yeah. I'm then going to play Counter Strike.
Yeah.
I'm then going to play Dragon Strike.
Wow. Right. Okay. Right.
So what this means is I've got a Berserk, so I draw a card
Because you played a red card.
because I've played a red card.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
Oh, you are correct.
So do behaviours first.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay because we know what this is.
We know
gonna
what
be.
this is. We have that behaviour first.
Which is I discard
Discard
three
the top
cards.
3 cards of your deck.
So 1, 2, there it is.
Okay, and
Three.
then it spends 2 struggle.
Yeah, and
Does
I
it
repeat
again.
that effect, which is fine.
Which is fine.
Okay.
Then I play 1, which I've already actually put down,
Paid for, yeah.
paid for, because this was on the top for Counter Strike and for Dragon Strike.
Right.
So what would happen is I would draw a card
For the
for,
Dragon Strike.
for Berserker. Then Counter Strike means I will deal.
So the damage of this is increased by 3 multiplied by
3.
your weapon level.
Did we do the damage of this as well? Yeah.
Yeah, we've
I
done
did.
that.
I did the 2
Yeah.
for the battle cry.
So apologies, yeah, I've had to
That's all right.
back a few.
So
that's
now we're dealing 5,
5.
for the Dragon Strike.
Yep. And I get to draw another card because of the ordering of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't work out.
And we have 9.
And we have 9.
So 9 is another wound.
I was trying to get the double off here as
Yeah.
well as do that, and it just couldn't work because I had 4 red cards in hand at the start.
Yeah.
Did you just do the wound?
I haven't,
No. Okay.
No.
It's down to 3.
down to 3.
There you go.
So it's now changing
So
stance.
we switch stance. Yeah, the first red should be causing a reaction. Yep, we picked it up. Maybe spotted it. Right, so we go from stance 2 to stance 3, which is the last one. So when revealed, place a fire terrain in each threatened sector. A threatened sector is one which contains a character who is threatened.
Which is none of us.
None of us are threatened. Right, so that's good. We also move forward to the peril card for stance 3. So again, it triggers whenever a behaviour card with Firestorm is revealed. Something bad is going to happen there. And we now need to deal 12 damage to get a wound, but it is exposed in all, so we can now play red cards everywhere. So it's got 3 wounds left, and it's 12 damage per wound. So 36 damage, easy.
I will give you an assist now if you want, because I've just realised there's a blue there now, so I'm screwed. I can't play the blues.
Do you need the assist, or would it be better to give it to me?
It could help.
If he draws a red, it's going to be good for him.
Okay, go for it. Yeah,
There's your assist.
It's not red.
I can't assist.
Oh, I was meant to have an extra card in hand as well, because that
Okay.
does
Because of your
not count.
tenacity.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, okay, fine. So instead what I'm going to do is I am going to play this one to play Guardian Blade, which is at the end of your action phase, choose another player to draw 1 card for each, so I'll let you draw
Thank you.
the 2.
That's at the end of your action phase.
Yes.
It would be but that's fine. You draw. I've got a card that can give vulnerable, and as I'm last, I then need to want to
It would
hit it
disappear.
again. Yeah.
I'll give you the 2 and then hopefully we can assist or do something
Yeah,
else
fine.
there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, do that.
So that's then the end of turn.
So end of your action phase.
Yeah, end of action phase.
So attrition.
Attrition is a 2. I've
You're
got
not,
2.
You're not threatened, and you've got 2, so you don't take any damage.
Lovely.
And then I'm drawing how many cards?
2.
2.
So apologies, there was a little bit of rewinding there,
Yep.
but I was desperately trying to get these double off to get me mastery level.
And you
I
are the
couldn't
aggro
get it.
player.
And I am the aggro player.
Turns to face you.
So we're hitting the tail. How many more of those do we need? Quite a lot.
We need 6 counters on it.
So 5 more.
5 more.
Right, start of my turn. Volley 2. That's 1 offensive card. That's 1 damage. Also at the start of my turn, nothing else happens. Right. Next, do I want to move? See, this is the point that if there was a bush here, I would hide in the bush, wait for
Yeah.
you to have your turn,
Yeah.
you're vulnerable, and then kill it with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Alas, there is no bush.
No.
So if I move, I end up in a
You
fire
draw any
sector.
assists.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm not going to move, because if I do, I end up in a sector with fire. And I can't attack. So I'm not going to move, which means I become threatened.
Just need 1 red.
Doesn't trigger one of these. So let's have a look. Triggers if I play blue. We know what that is, so I don't want to play blue.
No.
Yeah.
Because then we've got fire, fire, fire.
Fire, fire, fire.
Well, at the end of round, those 2 will go.
I'm gonna play heavy arrow, which is 1, but I can spend an extra 2 to increase the damage that it does, and I'm going to pay for it with that, which is 1, that, which is 1, and that, which is 1. So it's a red card, it's got aggro on it.
Yep.
And we'll do it right. We'll do the volley first. But before that, I'm discarding that. So I perform volley 2.
Yep.
Just for discarding it. 2 damage.
Nice.
You got it?
I've got it.
I'm discarding that, so I draw 1. And then I'm discarding that. So I've discarded those 3 cards to play this.
Yep.
Because I played a red card, I volley 1. It's another damage.
Nice.
And now I'm dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9.
9 damage. Nice. Could have been 18.
Could have been 18.
So what's that? That's 13.
Yeah.
And we need
12.
12 to wound it.
Yeah.
So wound.
Good turn.
And that didn't trigger any of those. I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Okay, next. I'm going to play backflip. You can only play this after a red card. And then next time I refill my hand, I draw 1. And then I'm going to play Sneaky Glide by spending that, which says recycle 1, which I can't, and the next card gains stealth. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, we needed to do this after backflip.
That's fine.
Did you want to give that stealth? Was
Oh,
it green
yeah,
itself?
do it the other way around.
But it'll be green you're
Is it
playing for
green
stealth.
itself? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Fine.
no, that's fine. I'll play the backflip and I'll do that.
The active player becomes threatened.
So
Which you were.
I'm already threatened. So
Yeah.
that does nothing. So that's fine. And then yeah, we'll play that for that. Don't do anything.
It's not
Right.
good for me though.
That's not good for you.
It's really
Anyway.
bad for me.
End of my action
Get the head of
phase.
serve again.
Attrition. So I'm drawing 2 cards because I'm threatened, but I do have 2 here.
1.
So I'm okay. So I don't
Yeah.
take any damage. But then I'm going to draw up to my hand size and an extra 1, which means I've emptied my deck. So I take a fatigue damage, I take a burning damage, but I deal 5 damage to it.
Nice. Good turn.
There you go. Good turn. So it's got 2 wounds left.
So it's come to face me.
And it turns to face the aggro player.
Yeah. Well, face you.
Yeah.
Which in turn means this is all going off.
Yeah.
On my turn, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the rampage is going to happen.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So
It's a good question in the chat. How do you lose? And there are 2 ways you can lose in this game, which has been answered in the chat. You get to the end of round 10, or when you take your amount of damage equal to the sum of your health values on your helmet and your armor, you're KO'd. Now, KO'd means you're just out for a couple of turns, but if we're all KO'd at the same time, we lose.
So the first thing that happens is Varaxon gains the number of players -1 struggle and gets +1 damage to the end of the round.
So its base damage is now 2 plus 1, 3. I did say it was going to get nasty, didn't I?
Then it rampages. Place a fire terrain in the front sector.
Oh, no!
Then,
No!
then spend 1 struggle.
Yeah.
Each player in the front sector takes damage unless they discard a green card.
That's 3 damage.
Yeah.
Look at this card. That's 4 stamina gone.
Wow.
My turn's just screwed.
You can't do anything.
Well,
Can't
can't
do
do
anything.
anything. There's
Yeah,
fire
yeah,
here,
that's what I'm
fire
saying.
here,
Yeah.
fire here.
Your best bet is to
To move
move
into the health area.
into the health area because it stops you being threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Paul.
yes.
What did you think you were doing?
Yeah. So I'm going to move.
I have assist if that helps.
No.
But I can play this to cause you to not suffer attrition damage.
Okay.
So I've got
Yeah, that'd be
another
good. Because I can't.
another save.
So I'm going to move over here. And then that's it.
1 stamina to move
Yep. I'm going to gain stamina.
because you ended your turn with 2 cards.
Yep. I had a real nice turn as well. And then
Attrition?
attrition. I've
You're
moved.
not
so
threatened. So you take
I will.
I protect you from that attrition damage.
Lovely. Great. Cool.
Draw back to your hand size.
Draw back to my hand size.
And that's
doesn't
it.
count,
That's
so
the
I
end of
can
the
draw
round.
3. 1.
You went first,
I
apparently.
went first.
I don't remember that, but
I did because
apparently
it
you
took me forever to get the timing right, and I still didn't get it
So
right.
we don't have any end of round triggers there.
No.
This is going to disappear.
Yeah.
That fire is going to go. That
And
fire is going to go, and that one flips over. Any other end of round stuff?
Not that I can
Yeah.
see.
Right. Round 5. Consume.
Would anyone like to
Well,
drink potion because
I mean-
again it's only 2. But
I think I'm going to. I'm going to drink the potion to heal for 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Monster upkeep. So we get rid of that. And it gets replaced by that.
okay, that's nicer. Although I'm still doing this.
We're not triggering this that much, which is good.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
right.
Player turns. I'm the aggro player, which means I get to go first. Right. So what do I need to deal?
We need to move first.
I need to deal 18 damage.
I've got a vulnerable, which I can
So
move
that
over
might
to
be good then
Adrian.
for.
Yeah, I've got the option I could do with the blue cards that might require it.
So if I don't move, I can't
Yes,
play
it's in
cards
hindsight.
because. So I've got to move. Absolutely have to move. So I'm going to spend 1 stamina because definitely don't want to trigger the blue card. I'm going to move to here.
Yeah.
Because I've moved, I'm no longer threatened. Ooh. Oh, if you're the aggro player, you can't play this card.
Painful.
Sad times.
If only there was a.
Has anybody got an assist?
Um,
I do, but it's my only damage card, and it's quite a
An
heavy
assist
damage
will
card.
allow me to deal an extra 6 damage.
I won't be able to do what I want to do with the vulnerable if I get rid of my assist because it's one of my it's one of my 2 stamina cards. So unfortunately not.
So I can deal 2 damage or I can deal 8 damage.
So, well, it's also dependent upon if you can give vulnerable,
Yeah, I can give vulnerable to
then it would be more than 6
Probably
damage
better.
that I can
Yeah.
do.
So I'm going to play Heavy Arrow first.
It's because it's an expensive card and I had to bin
I'm
something
going to pay
that's
for
paying
it
for
with
it.
that. And it is just 2 damage. So
Mm.
it's not quite a heavy arrow. It's quite a light arrow. But that's that. Oh, volley 1. Nope. So I dealt that. That's dealt 2 damage. Did I do my start of turn, volley 2?
Yes.
Did you?
Did I? No, I don't think I did.
You didn't.
I didn't do my volley 2 at the start of my turn. So I missed anyway.
It was meant to be.
Yeah. And then I can't play this because it costs 1. So
End of turn.
yeah. That's it. End of turn. I'm going to take some damage, aren't I?
Yeah. It's
So-
2 damage.
2 damage.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'll
that's-
go from 4 to 6. And then I draw up to my hand size.
And then it comes to face.
And it turns to face me. Yeah.
Alright. My turn, I heal 1.
You heal 1 because of the plant.
Yep. Then first
Movement. Do you want to move?
no.
You become threatened.
Which
Doesn't trigger a card.
So I'm gonna get rid of this blue and
I have an assist.
you have an assist.
But is that better for.
But if you can assist me, I
you-
won't be playing the blue,
You've got to
but
pay to move.
I'm not moving.
Oh, sorry, you didn't move.
Yeah.
Right.
Go with an assist for him first, and then I'll hope that he draws an assist on his turn.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll assist you. Right. Action phase. So we're going to try and do it this turn, are we?
I feel like we could. If he can get vulnerable down, and I can draw 1 more card.
So right, first things first. I'm gonna pay these 3 to
3
play
stamina.
Iron Blast.
Oh,
So that's gonna deal.
so it's a red card.
Yeah. So it's gonna deal 5 damage,
5.
but 4 damage. Plus 2.
Oh, right. Okay, so 4 damage.
4 damage.
Well, that's 12. So that's a wound.
And then
Wound.
it inflicts vulnerable. I
Okay.
take the aggro token.
Here's the vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Then I'm going to play Iron Will, and I'm going to play this blue to do that, and I get to draw 2.
Oh, if you paid for it with a blue card.
Yeah.
That's very good. Very, very good. Right. Then I'm going to. Let's see. Pay for 2. Play Enrage. Search deck for a red.
He might do this on his own.
That is the card I wanted. So, I can't do it on my own. Because the behaviour card will go off. I can only play that after a blue. Very nearly could do it by myself.
Oh, and we know what the blue's going to
The
do.
blue's going
Yeah.
to stop him playing more
Okay.
cards.
Yeah. Close, but no cigar.
I mean, you could play the blue, and it would do 2 damage because you've upgraded your mastery.
Yeah, but it's fine. I don't think I will do that because I don't want to put fire in where we are.
But is it going to matter? If Adrian's going to finish it off on his turn, play it just to make sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because we don't have to use the vulnerable straight away. We can use
No,
it
you
at
can
any
use it
point.
whenever you want.
Well, this cancels a behaviour card. None of them are going to go off, though, are they?
No.
Okay, fine. Play blue.
Yep, so you play a blue card. Because you played a blue card,
I'll be able to
1 struggle is gone, but because you're in front, it's 2 struggle.
Yeah.
And because you've upgraded your mastery,
Yep.
it's 2 damage. You could choose to double that to 4, but we're going to say not use the vulnerable. Right. And then you played a blue card.
Yep.
So this goes off. It turns to face the active player
Yeah.
and put a fire token
In this area, and it also gets rid of the struggle.
and we spend a struggle.
And I have to take 3 damage.
You take 3 damage unless you have a green card
I
in
do
your
not have
sequence.
3.
And then that goes. That comes in.
Is it 3? It's only 2, isn't it?
Sorry,
it's
two-
only
2 damage.
It's only 2.
It escalates into the struggle. And have you done attrition damage yet?
No.
Yep. So attrition damage.
So I've got 2 in my sequence, and it's a 1.
But you didn't move, so
You're
you need to draw
threatened.
another one.
Did
Yeah.
I not move?
Yeah, I don't think you moved.
No, I didn't move.
You
did I?
didn't move. So pop that one aside. As long as this isn't the 3.
Don't say that.
Good.
Yep.
I could feel you like hold your breath.
So
So that's that done.
you're done. We've done the attrition phase. End of turn. Discard all your cards. Draw. Monster turns to face the aggro player.
Which
is
is,
there.
which is me.
Come on, Adrian.
Right.
Are you going to move?
I am going to move because I just don't want to trigger that, whatever it might be.
Right.
Can anyone assist, please?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
What held on to that card?
Okay.
Okay.
So we just need to deal 5 damage. At once.
Is it 5 damage? Oh yeah, because of I can do this easy. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because you did the blue card with 2,
Yeah.
it meant
Yeah. Let's just I mean, let's play the game. So I'm going to do resilience. Not resilience. So reactive guard.
reactive guard.
So I've paid my 1.
So it does nothing
Does
yet.
nothing at the moment. However, I'm then going to pay
No yellow
that.
card trigger. Yeah.
Yeah. To double slash if the next
There we go.
card you play in your sequence is a red card, reduce its stamina cost by 1. So that does 2 damage here. Oh, got them here.
I'm only drawing 1 extra because I already had 1 card in my hand as well.
So that means the next one, red card costs 0, which is this. So it's double here. So the first thing I get to do is turn that over. It's then double here. Unfortunately, I couldn't pay for it with a blue.
Okay.
But it's
It's 2.
2, 3, 4. Doubled.
Doubled.
So
It's
8
8,
damage.
Yeah.
which is 12.
Yep.
With the vulnerable,
Yeah.
which is the last wound.
There we go.
We made it look easy.
That's one of the easier goes I've had.
If
did
we
well.
made it look easy, it's not
True
normally. Yeah, I mean, we played this earlier on today as a practice game, and it got quite close. Davey was knocked out
Yep.
at one point. I had like 8 damage at one point. As soon as Viraxin goes to stance 3, then it does kick off. But as I mentioned at the start, we have played this particular scenario about 4 or 5 times, so we are very familiar with these cards. And the blue one is definitely one to watch out for. If you're not careful, if you don't know what the blue one does, and I would recommend if you are going to get this game or you're going to play this game in a few weeks, try and forget what the blue card does, because then when you play it for the first time, you'll experience it and then you'll remember what it does. But there is definitely a benefit to learning what the behavior cards do. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention just before we start wrapping things up is I mentioned at the start, we're playing with 9 behavior cards for this particular monster. And if you're thinking, oh, well, it's always going to be the same 9 behavior cards, it's not. There are 18 behavior cards for this particular enemy. And depending on the aggression level, it will tell you which cards to use. So the behavior cards all have little icons on. And when Viraxen goes to aggression level 1, there are 3 cards that you take out, and there are 3 new ones that you put in. So this behavior deck is always 9 cards, but it's going to be a different 9 cards as you progress through. Right, before we wrap up the playthrough, we are going to just tell you a bit about the campaign, because tip of the iceberg is what you've seen today. You have seen one monster. There are multiple monsters in the game, and there are expansion sets for this game, and there's a lot more to discover. You saw the prologue scenario with very, very simple characters. We're now just going to take a little bit of time to show you what else the game has to offer. So what we have is, we have the campaign sheet. So you will, let's just get my character out of the way. You will have your campaign sheet, and you will use this to tick off the chapters as you play through them. And you see here, these are the aggression levels. So when you start playing, you will be on aggression level 1. And when you get to chapter 4, it will go up to aggression level 2. And then when you get to chapter 8, you go up to aggression level 3. You start off the game with the trophy from Viraxen. So if you've killed Viraxen, you will mark this box and you will have a trophy. You will also read through the story in the campaign book. So there is a campaign book with a lot of stuff in here. And there is a story at the start that you will read through. And it will say, add Viraxen to your trophies. Then you'll read a bit more of the story. And you will set the forge to level 1. And you will unlock the fire forge. And the characters will gain crafting materials. So what that will mean is you will mark off the forge level 1. And you will tick the fire forge. So there's lots of different forges in the game, and you will start the game with the Fire Forge. Now this gives all of the characters cool stuff that they can spend their crafting materials to equip. So it mentioned that all characters are going to get 2 fire, some bones and blood and scale, and they're tracked on this. So each player will have one of these, and you will track the amount of materials and elements that you've got, and then you can use those materials and elements in order to craft different items here. So let's just show you. This would be Darian's weapon. If you were to choose to craft this weapon, it would cost you 1 fire, 1 bones and 1 blood, and it would be the flame tongue. So what it's got is it's got a base damage of 4, and it's also got a better ability than you currently have. Now the numbers on the left hand side, this is quite interesting. So we were playing with a deck of 24 cards to start with. And those 24 cards, there's 6 of each colour. Now, once you change weapon to this, you actually have to construct your deck at the start of the battle. So with the Flame Tongue, you have 6 red cards, 4 blue, 5 yellow, and 5 green, which means you've got a smaller deck and you've got a higher percentage of red cards. And it means that you can actually tailor and tweak your deck by taking out the cards that you've decided you don't want in there. And all of the weapons that you will craft over the course of the game will have different modifiers on them. In addition to the weapons, you can also craft some armor. So, for example, the red scale armor is available at the start of the game. And what this does is it increases the amount of damage that you can have. And also, they have abilities. So all of the abilities get better as the game goes on. You can craft a red scale helm, which again has more health. So if you have both of these, then you can now take 11 damage before you're knocked out. And you've also got items, so not armor, not helmets, and not weapons, but you can have items, and you can have 1 item on your character and up to 3 potions. And again, this is just the tip of the iceberg with what we've got here. Now, also, when you read through the next bit of story, you unlock the Herbalist at level 1. The Herbalist is what you use in order to craft potions. So you will also track the plants that you've got on here, and you will gain extra plants depending on which boss you've defeated. And then you can start crafting various potions that all do all sorts of different things in the game. I don't even know what a defense token is, but yeah, lots of different potions in the game. Now, these potions, once they are consumed, they're gone, and you will have to craft them again. Now, before we move on, I just want to say that these forges and this herbalist, this is level 1. Over the course of the campaign, you can actually unlock, and I won't show this now, but there are level 2 and level 3 forges for each of the different types of forge. And you can see on here how many different forges there are. So there's lots of different forges in the game, and there's lots and lots of different items in the game. And yeah, basically you'll progress through the campaign like that. Now, how the campaign progresses uses this little map here. This is a map, and what will happen is as you read chapter 1 in the storyline, it will tell you to unlock, I believe, quests 1 and 2. Yeah, so when you read through the story here, you will unlock quest 1 and 2. The quests, where have I put them? There.
That's
These are little cards, and each quest, let me zoom back in. Each quest will have a particular type of monster on it and a particular type. So this is bone, I believe, and it goes, that should be that way around. It goes here, and then this one will go here. And if you had some of the expansion sets, then there may be extra ones as well. And basically, each chapter of the game, you choose which quest you want to do. And that will tell you which boss you want to fight. So you will play through the campaign, and you will go through the 12 chapters, well, 11, and then the big fight at the end. But the route that you take through the campaign will determine which monsters you fight. So a big question with campaign games is it replayable? Mm-hmm. This is the kind of game where even though there is narrative, and the designers might be upset by me saying this, the narrative doesn't actually matter. The narrative's nice, and it's a nice read, and it's a nice story, but this isn't really a narrative-driven game. Once you've read this once, you're probably not going to want to read it again. The focus on this game is fighting the different bosses, crafting bigger and better items, and progressing through it. The narrative is there to add extra theme and flavour to the game, but it isn't something that is going to be spoiled once you've read through it once. It's absolutely replayable. And every time you play through this campaign, you will choose a different path. So we might say, oh, we're going to go to quest 1 and we'll fight this enemy. And then you were saying that if we do that, that one will go. Mm-hmm. And then that will lead to other ones, and then that will lead to other ones. So yeah, every time you play it, depending on which quest you choose, you will end up in a different way. Now, how the characters advance, this will happen at fixed times during the game, and you will track your improvements on your own skill tree. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. There you go. So what will happen is the first time in the game that it says your character can upgrade their cards is you will choose either A, B, C, D, or E. And then what you do is you go to your cards that you've got, and if I was to choose A, I would add in both of the cards that say A1, and these cards go into my card pool. I don't have to put them in my deck, but you would always want to, because these cards are better than the cards that you have to start with. The next time that you can upgrade your character pool, I could say, I'm now going to go D. And I would take the 2 D cards, and I would add them into my deck. Or, instead of going along the D, I could continue along the A, at which point I would get the A2 cards, which are even better, and I would also get a new mastery card. And remember, all of these cards, they don't automatically go into your deck, they go into your pool, and then every time you are fighting a monster, you choose which card you want to play with. So it might be that once you've unlocked 2 or 3 mastery cards, you're fighting a particular boss, and you might think, for this one, I'm going to use this card. And I think that's where experience will come in very handy. When you know how particular bosses work, you can customize and tweak your deck however much you want to. Now, the other thing that I find quite interesting about this game, and I've not explored this myself yet, is each monster is associated with a particular element. And certain monsters, like if we have a look at Viraxen is a fire monster, but he's got weaknesses. And if you attack Viraxen, if your weapon is either made of whatever those things are,
ice,
horn,
ice bone,
coral, and ice.
Yeah.
So he's weak to horn weapons, coral weapons, and ice weapons. And if you attack it with a weapon which it's got a weakness to, it allows you to customize your deck even more. I think it's just 1 card. You can either
plus
add
or minus,
or remove 1 card.
But isn't it above or below the amount of,
Yes.
of what those 4 numbers were down the
Yes. So
side?
you could say, I'm going to add 1 extra red card.
So I'm going to have 7.
And I'm going to have
Half
7
my
red
deck
cards.
is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've not really seen that part of the game yet, but yeah, that's quite cool. Now, we're not going to show you all the miniatures today. I have done an unboxing video, so if you're watching this video and you want to see what else is in the game, I do have an unboxing video on my channel from a couple of months ago where I go through all of the different monsters and all of the different forges and everything else. After you've played 11 chapters, you fight the big boss at the end, and that figure is about
The Awakened.
3 times the size of this. It's very scary. Now, for those of you that are card lovers, I did promise you a treat, and I'm now just going to go over here and get this ginormous box of cards. Now,
Again, this isn't in the base game as such. It's an add-on.
this is not in the base game. This is an add-on, and this is all of the expansions. This took me 4.5 hours to sleeve and put away. It was the most enjoyable 4.5 hours of my life because I love doing that. But again, this is not just the core game. This is the core game with all of the expansions, and this is an add-on box with all of the sleeves. But these are all of the different monsters that you can fight. There are 6 characters included in the game. These are all of the different helmets, the different armors, items, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, these are all of the weapon cards. There's a huge amount of content for this game that I think there's a lot of gameplay in there.
Yeah.
As you say, you're gonna face a different creature at the start, so you'll have lower level
Well,
of
it's
certain type.
always Viraxen.
Yeah, sorry.
But then after that,
Yeah.
So you're gonna have different types of weapons, different types of armor. You're gonna then possibly face different creatures you go on. So you're gonna have, you might not upgrade your armor for a while. So you might have fire armor to start off with, but then level 3 ice sword as well or whatever. And so yeah, not only is it going to be your character, but it's going to be your weapons and your loadout will change every time.
So me and Adrian, we have only ever played the prologue.
Yeah.
I've played it about 7 times. You've played it about 5 or 6
5 or
times.
6 times, yeah.
Without giving your opinions on the game,
Yep.
you have actually played half a campaign.
Yes.
So tell us, is what we've just said right for a start?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's spot on.
And how
A
do
lot
you
of
feel-
customization. You're able to make quite versatile decks and change your decks up quite a lot.
Okay.
As an example, because I've been playing Kyra, so the
Oh,
dual
she's got a
blade.
big. Oh yeah, the dual
The
blade
expansion
right?
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is Kyra.
Kara?
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Kara. Helen is the one with
that's
the.
it. And I had one deck where she liked to overrun a lot, so she was basically jumping up over the monster left, right, and centre and dealing damage.
Okay.
I was able to get a weapon where I was then able, every time I went through my deck, similar to the Blight Bow,
Yeah.
I was adding damage to my weapon.
Right.
And the deck suddenly became, with some of my upgrades, I was able to discard cards on their turn, do stuff on other people's turns,
Okay.
and it became more about getting rid of my whole deck
Right.
again, and drawing up again, dealing a lot of damage.
Okay.
So it's, even though you're playing the same character, there's lots of flexibility. You can change a whole build up with what items you could get.
Right.
It's really varied. It's
Okay.
really lots of fun.
And halfway through the campaign, you were playing against aggression level 2, so the monsters are really tough.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that this game does, I mean, you can't get too excited when you go, oh, look at this base. This weapon does a base damage of 5. My old one did a base damage of 2, and you get really excited. And then you look at the monster and you're like, oh, okay, it's got 40 damage to deal a
It
wound.
ramps up, yeah.
The maths just, everything just escalates.
Scale.
It definitely.
And we were sorting out the damage tokens at the start. Vicky was sorting out all of the damage tokens, and there's 1s and 5s, 10s and 20s, and she found one that was 200, and I said, we don't need that. But yeah, if you get to the end, I'm assuming your characters are. I mean, let's just have a sneaky look at. This is one of the legendary
I was going to
items.
say, have you got one of the... Yeah.
So it's a super special item, and the base damage is 10,
Mm.
and it's legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what legendary does, but there's it's something about the end battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what legendary is. I'm not
Yeah,
really that
it's
far
ready, for
into
the,
it.
it's ready for the
It's
awakening.
ready for the awakened at the end, because
yeah.
the awakened at the end takes on some of the properties of the
creatures
monsters
you
that
defeat.
you've defeated along the way.
That's cool.
And legendary means you can remove some of those. Yeah, I mean, it's clear just from playing it, again, not opinions, that a lot of work
There's
has
a
gone
lot of
into this
stuff.
game.
Yes. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of content for this game. It isn't cheap, because it is a miniatures game. There are big miniatures in the game. But I think a lot of hard work has gone into this game over the years that they've been working on it and things like that. Okay, so Ken has confirmed in order to exploit a weakness, you need 2 pieces of equipment with the same element. Okay, so
That
not
matches
just
the
a
weakness.
weapon. Thank you very much for that clarification. I'd misunderstood that.
Same.
And he says to do every quest and experience every bit of lore, you'd need to play the campaign approximately 5 times using all expansions. Okay, so if you play the campaign 5 times and choose different paths each time, that is enough to see all of the content. But then you just play it again with a different
I was
character.
going to say, yeah.
and then it'll be okay. We're all done for today. Thank you very much to you two for joining me.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
I did this video for 3 reasons. First of all, to show people who didn't know what this game was, to give you an idea of what the game was and how it plays, to see if it's the kind of game that you'd like. I also did this video for those of you that have this game and either wanted to learn how to play or were playing the game, but it turns out that you've seen that you were playing it wrong. And I hope that this has helped you with that. And the third reason for playing the game, for doing the video, is some of you like to just watch us play games. So there you go. Whatever the reason you have for watching this video, thank you very much for watching us. A big thank you to the people who've been watching us live and for the live rules help. And a big thank you to Reggie Games for sponsoring this video and making all of this possible. Thank you to you two.
Thank you.
Adrian and Davey are from the Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast. They do a regular show every couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah, with some expansion episodes in between. Yeah.
Yep.
So check it out, whosturn.co.uk. You've spoken about this a little bit in the past, but you'll
We
probably
have.
be speaking
We have.
about it a bit more on the next one, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know about the next one, but
Maybe the one after that.
certainly in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
But yeah, check that out. Thanks very much. We'll see you all next time. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Bye.